Minnesota Vikings preseason football is presented by Twin Cities Orthopedics, the official orthopedics provider of the Minnesota Vikings, by Miller Lite, the official beer of the Minnesota Vikings, and by U.S. Bank, official bank of the Minnesota Vikings.
The Minnesota Vikings and San Francisco 49ers are set to do battle. We welcome you to U.S. Bank Stadium. It's the second preseason game. We kick it down to Ben Lieber. What's going on there, Ben?
Not a whole lot, Paul. Thank you very much. One of the guys I'll be watching today is third-year outside linebacker out of South Carolina. That's DJ Wanham. Look, this team is in desperate need to find some depth behind Daniil and Za'Darius, and I thought DJ had a terrific game last week against the Las Vegas Raiders. He showed drastic improvement in the run game, and he consistently got after the quarterback. You got to keep in mind, when he was at South Carolina, he was in a stand-up outside linebacker position in a 3-4. So this new defense may cater to his strengths perfectly. I'm looking for DJ to have himself quite a day and to solidify himself as one of the top edge rushers on this team. So Paul and Pete, let's get ready and hope that we can turn up the volume on DJ Wanham.
Yeah, the DJ's looking to make some hits tonight, no doubt. Played well in the Raiders game, and also had 8 sacks last season. As the combatants take the field, a large number of luminaries for both teams will not be in action tonight. Some would include Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Trey Lance. Marshall, Minnesota, don't go crazy tonight if you came to watch him play. Trey Lance, the second-year quarterback from North Dakota State University, he will not play tonight. Likewise for Deebo Samuel, etc. The Vikings and 49ers had a couple of spirited joint practice days, Wednesday and Thursday, at Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center. And now they embark on their second preseason game. The 49ers beat Green Bay in Northern California last week. The Vikings lost to the Raiders. A bastion of excellence. Robbie Gould set to kick it off, and Minnesota Vikings football is in the air. Emir Smith-Marset bobbled it in the end zone, and thus we will have a touchback as the Vikings offense, which generated a couple of touchdowns in the loss to the Raiders, both were passing touchdowns from Kellen Mond, and they both went to Albert Wilson. And speaking of young Kellen, he gets the start this evening. Kellen Mond, second-year Texas A&M, 9 of 14, 119, and the aforementioned 2 TDs to Albert Wilson at Allegiant. He ran 3 times for 7 yards, and he was sacked 0 times. Backup offensive line for the Minnesota Vikings from Darrisaw to O'Neal. They all are out of uniform. Ed Ingram, the rookie from LSU, he's the right guard, and the tailback is Alexander Madison as Kellen goes back to pass, pats it, throws left, caught first down. Emir Smith-Marset with a catch of about 11 yards, maybe 10. And that's a first down for the Minnesota Vikings. Peter, Kellen Mond last game.
I think he did a nice job. It's just he reads the field well, makes good accurate throws, and especially on this touchdown, he knew that that's where he was going to go with the ball pre-snap. It was great to see him just rifle that thing in there. That was a bullet, Paul. That went for the touchdown. So if he can speed up his progressions like we're just seeing him do, I think then he's going to vie for that backup spot.
Kellen takes the snap from under center. He gives it to the veteran Madison, who's hit hard by Javon Kinlaw. Javon Kinlaw will play a lot for the 49ers this year. It's a gain of 2. Rookie profile, Ed Ingram, second-round pick from LSU, 59th overall. This is courtesy of High V. What can you tell us about Ed?
Like we talked about in pregame, Paul, as an 18-year-old true freshman came into LSU where they were 9-4. So he's used to being in big spots at young ages. This is not like too big for him to have that composure as an 18-year-old, that toughness. I think that's remarkable. He has great feet. He's had great instincts for an offensive guard.
To his left is Austin Schlottman. He's the center tonight as Mond throws to the right, and it's caught by Ben Ellefson, a backup tight end. That's a gain of 2 yards. And that will bring up third down for the Vikings. Ben Ellefson on the team last year, third year, North Dakota State University, went to Hawley High School. He was cut by Jacksonville in 2021, picked up by the Vikings, played 5 games, and he is sans a touchdown in his young National Football League career. BC Johnson and Tristan Jackson head out left. Emir Smith-Marset singled up to the right as Kellen Mond looks at 3rd and 6 from his own 40, just underway, second preseason game 2022. Schlotman snap is low to Kellen. He brings it in. Kellen straight in the pocket, bounces out to the right, pumps, fires, caught, first down. And in Niners territory, it's BC to the 44. It's a connection of 16, and Kellen came out firing.
Yeah, I love the way that he sits in that pocket, reads his progression, feels the rush, and then works his way. But, Paul, he makes a great decision, and credit to BC Johnson. Johnson was running to the sideline, realized what was going on, and stopped and fell into that little hole in the zone. So as great of a throw and scramble that was by Mond, I'm impressed by the route by BC Johnson.
Kellen, 3 of 3, 29 yards out of the gate. 1st and 10 from the Niners 44. They scrimmage from the right hash, heading to the east side of US Bank Stadium. Madison, the tailback. Kellen on a 5-step drop. Looks right. Now he just hoists it up for Tristan Jackson, but he threw it out of bounds. A lot of pressure on Kellen Mond. Didn't like what he saw, so he threw it away. And it'll be 2nd and 10. We referenced 99 for the 49ers earlier. His name is Javon Kinlaw, and he's their starting defensive tackle, and they are desperately trying to get him up to speed. He was a first-round pick in 2020, 14th overall. Why he's important is when the games get going with Nick Bosa and Eric Armstead, they got a couple of nice edge rushers, but they traded DeForest Buckner to Indianapolis, drafted Javon Kinlaw. He got hurt last year, so he's playing in his 2nd consecutive preseason game. Mond out of the shotgun, gives it to Madison, and he wheels around the right side to the 40, 35, spins at the 32, right in front of the Vikings bench. That's a Minnesota Vikings first down. It's a 14-yard run by Alexander.
Now, this is a great job by Kyle Hinton to pull around and lead the blocking. Gets to the point, collapses, actually takes down the defensive back. And, you know, last week, Kene Nwanwu, Ty Chandler, they both had great games. So this is great to see Madison get some snaps early.
Kellen throws it left to BC, incomplete, overshot him in single coverage. That'll make it 2nd and 10.
Oh, a lot of good push, Paul, coming from the inside of the interior of this defensive line from San Francisco, and Mond is just not able to throw the. He's thrown it off of his back foot, so that ball flared and went out of bounds. But BC Johnson, all of last year, you know, missed all of last year with a knee. 45 receptions at 11.5 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's been on the field. He knows what's going on. And again, when he settled in zone a couple plays ago, that was really a nice route.
And BC is our TCO health report. Handoff on 2nd and 10 to Madison, hit at the 30, down at the 29 for a gain of 2. Now on an evening at US Bank Stadium where a fair amount, if not all, Vikings 1s and some 2s are sitting, Madison is playing this evening. Ty Chandler got himself nicked up in the joint practices against the San Francisco 49ers. And I know a lot of people here at the stadium and or watching on Fox 9 or listening on KFAN or the Vikings Radio Network excited to see Ty off his debut against Vegas. But Madison definitely getting some much needed preseason reps in advance of the Packers game in 22 days. Vikings are 1 of 1 on 3rd down. It's 3rd and 8. BC in motion to the left. Kellen straight drop, throws it to the left side, intercepted, threw it right to the DB at the 18-yard line, and heading up the field into Vikings territory. It's an interception for the San Francisco 49ers, their 4th this preseason. George Odom, a 5th-year safety from Central Arkansas. Kellen is mortal. Niners have the ball. Back shortly. This is Vikings football. Welcome back to Minneapolis. It's Vikings football on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Time for our Miller Lite social media segment. Please interact with the broadcast if you have time. The hashtag is Minnesocial. And this evening we are asking fans, what is the most interesting position battle for your Minnesota Vikings? Tweet us using hashtag Minnesocial. Here come the Niners. First and 10 from the Vikings 48 after Minnesota opens the game, going 9 plays, 46 yards, and Kellen Mond looped one up to veteran safety George Odom, and Odom with a nice return gets it into Vikings territory, heading to the west side of US Bank Stadium, and the quarterback is Nate Sudfeld. No Trey Lance this evening. Sudfeld, 6th year from Indiana. Handoff goes to Trey Sermon, and the tailback, 2nd year from Ohio State University, he'll head right for a couple of yards. Now, Peter, Kellen Mond, what went wrong on that pick?
Well, there's a couple things. First of all, you had motion where you had all 3 receivers on one side of the field, and you didn't see any defenders make any adjustments whatsoever. No one bumped, no one ran. That has to be a red flag to Kellen Mond. And then the pressure came up the middle, and we had seen it a few plays before. He didn't follow through. He kind of threw it off his back foot. The ball floated and was intercepted.
Sudfeld goes out of the shotgun. 3 receivers left, 2 right. It's a quick hitter right side to Jawan Jennings. And the 2nd-year wide receiver from Tennessee is thrust out of bounds at the Vikings 43-yard line. It is a gain of 4 yards.
Well, nice job by Patrick Jones to get out there in the flat. And again, Jones is used to having his hand in the dirt. He hasn't stood up and defended the flat and been forced to do those things. So could have been a little bit quicker. Did a nice job trying to hold off anything that might be coming in behind him. But a big body, a great athlete, and he is fast.
Rookies at corner. In fact, 3/4 of the secondary rookies, with a Caleb Evans, Andrew Booth, and Lewis Seen. On 3rd down, handoff goes right up the middle, and running for a first down is JaMycal Hasty. That is a gain of 5 yards. Hasty in his 3rd year from Baylor. 5 runs, 36 yards, no TDs versus Green Bay. Sudfeld, their starting quarterback, actually was shy of the first down. It'll be 4th and very short. Sudfeld, 8 of 11, 103, and a touchdown. No picks against the Green Bay Packers week 1 preseason. He won Super Bowl 52 in this building as a backup with the Eagles. 4th and short for Green Bay, no score. Handoff goes to the rookie, and the LSU rookie cannot get out to the right side. Excellent piece of defense by the Minnesota Vikings as Tyrion Davis-Price was upended. We have a flag on the play. Davis-Price, 3rd-round rookie from LSU, 36 yards versus Green Bay. Adrian Hill is the referee. But we'll see what happens.
A great job by Caleb Evans to come on up and make a tackle for no gain. So the interior defensive line doing their job, making that ball bounce outside into Caleb Evans, who we've heard so many good things about, made a great play.
The results of the play was that the runner was short of the line to gain, 1st down Minnesota.
Okay.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness against San Francisco, number 17. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the play, 1st down and 10, Minnesota.
Malik Turner, wide receiver, veteran, getting a little preseason chipping. No score. The last time Kellen Mond threw a pass, it was intercepted. Let's see if we can get the Vikings into the end zone and take the lead in the 1st quarter. Ben Lieber, Pete Bursich, Paul Allen from Minneapolis on the Vikings Entertainment Network. It's Minnesota Vikings football on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com, easy. There's Kellen Mond, started the game out of the gate 3 of 3. Now he's 3 of 6. His last pass was intercepted, and the handoff goes to Kene Wanwu. That'll be a gain of 1 yard, making a 2nd and 9. Sideline analyst is Ben Lieber. Kellen, take 2, Ben. What you looking for?
Well, I tell you what, I was really impressed with that 3rd down little scramble outside the pocket. Good pocket awareness, got it out to BC. But, you know, it's really hard to tell when he threw that interception. It looked like a smash 7 concept where a guy runs a shallow route in the flat and there's a 7 route behind him towards the corner. And I'm not sure if he thought the receiver was going to stop a little short but he should have put that one a little bit out in front of him and kind of threw him open. So it seems like an error on his part, but a good play followed up by a bad play.
2nd and 9 from the Niners 44. No score, empty backfield. San Francisco rushes 4. Kellen sidearm right, incomplete. It was Kene Nwangwu out of the backfield, and he short hopped him, so it'll be 3rd and 9. Kellen is operating behind a backup offensive line. The Minnesota Moving Company with some part-timers left to right. Oli Udoh, Kyle Hinton, Austin Schlottman. Rookie Ed Ingram gets the start at right guard, and Blake Brandel, number 64, you see on your screen. He is the right tackle, and the Vikings are 50%, 1 of 2 on 3rd down. Tristan Jackson wears number 9. He heads out to the right. Part of 3 receivers right, 1 left on 3rd down. It's a screen right, set up nicely to Nwangwu, but he runs to the right side and right in the back of Ed Ingram. So what looked to be promising, Peter, ended up for naught after a gain of 1.
Right. You get what you want to do is get your athletes the ball in space, and in that case, Nwangwu chips, gets his way through, and Ingram leads the way. Nwangwu is responsible for beating one of those 2 guys. But the Davis, the guard has to get out there and just block somebody getting somebody's way. But Ingram, unfortunately, did not, and the Vikings are forced to punt.
Willie Snead, the old veteran in this building in 2017 with New Orleans in that Minneapolis Miracle game. He's deep for San Francisco. Ryan Wright, the undrafted punter who had a 54-yard boomer at Vegas with a nice end-over-end production. A beautiful bounce at the 3, bounces back to the 7, but who cares? Ryan Wright, whoever would have thought that? Rookie from Tulane. Well done, young man. Scoreless in Minneapolis. It's Vikings football. Vikings football at US Bank Stadium on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Experience the greatest Vikings moments frozen in time at the Vikings Museum located in Eagan. Tickets available at vikings.com/museum. Well, midway through the first quarter, if you're just joining us on Fox 9 KFAN or the vast and ever expanding Minnesota Vikings radio network, it's the second preseason game. None of the luminaries are playing, but you've kind of missed a lot. Kellen Mond drove the Vikings down the field beautifully, then threw an interception that he'd like to have back off that back foot. And the 49ers went for it on 4th and short, and rookie corner Caleb Evans blew the whole thing up. And the Vikings turned over the Niners, led by Nate Sudfeld. Back to pass, eyeballs the receiver left, and it's caught at the 14-yard line. Danny Gray, 3rd-round rookie from Southern Methodist University, 8-yard gain, and holy cow, did he have a big one against the Green Bay Packers. A 76-yard touchdown reception from Trey Lance. Overall, 2 catches, 99 yards. Danny Gray, a fixture in the early stages for the 49ers from the NFC West. They went to the Super Bowl a few years ago and lost to Kansas City. Went to the NFC title game last year and lost to the eventual champions, the LA Rams. Sudfeld, play action, boots out left, throws off his back foot, and it's caught at the 35-yard line. That's a heck of a throw, and the veteran tight end, Tyler Croft, with a nice catch, 19-yard hook, Peter.
Well, they may have to take another look at this because that was close to being out of bounds, but a great job by Brian Asamoah to see the bootleg as a linebacker. He saw that right away, so great read by him, and I think we get to see just how fast Lewis Cine is and the closing speed that young man has.
Sudfeld hustles those Niners, wearing the gold pants trimmed in white and cardinal red with the white jerseys and the cardinal red numbers. Flags, Adrian Hill.
False start, offense, number 82, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Peter, before the game, my dear friend Scott Erie, who's in the crowd, was asking me to explain the nuance of what makes a 3-4 defense good when they're all firing. What would your answer be?
Well, I think it's the 3 guys up front and their ability to control what's going on, and that allows you to play a lot more guys in the back end. So that it's just the big men up front. They have to be playing well.
Toss right, Trey Sermon. Nothing after the penalty. Patrick Jones, 2nd-year Pitt. Brian Asamoah, rookie from Oklahoma, late on the scene. It's a gain of 1.
Yeah, another great job by Asamoah, just playing the bootleg. He's backside. He understands that, and he has to hold. So he takes a couple good shuffle steps. Once he knows where that football is, though, he's like fired out of a cannon. The speed of that young man. I mean, you take a look at his body. He looks like a mini Alonzo Spellman, right? I mean, with the long arms. Very, very muscular. I'm very, very impressed with them so far. 2nd
and 14, no score. T.Y. McGill's in the game, had 2 sacks against the Raiders. Not this time. Pass to the left from Sudfeld. It's a quickie just to get back to the original line of scrimmage. Malik Turner, 5th year from Illinois, 1 catch, 8 yards against the Packers. He has a personal foul already this game for throwing a punch at Andrew Booth. It's a gain of 5, and that'll make it 3rd and 9.
Well, nice job by Booth to recognize the double in route and then squeeze from the outside in. And for Booth, this is an important game. I expect a guy like Booth to really improve from that preseason game 1. Not really used to the speed. He's had back-to-back practices against this team. He should look really good tonight.
Sudfeld, shotgun, scoreless, 3rd and 9, false start, left tackle for these 49ers. They're pear-shaped out of the gate.
False start, offense. Number 67, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Preseason game, Peter, but they have 3 penalties. And the crowd for a preseason game, A, it's pretty large, but B, it's kind of loud.
It is, and I was impressed last week with the L.A. Raiders and the crowd that they brought. But I'm also impressed by this crowd here today. This is the only preseason game you can get to. A lot of people, this is their first time here, and they're making a lot of noise.
Jermichael Hasty to the left of Sudfeld, takes a low snap. Vikings rush 4. Sudfeld over the middle. Incomplete off the fingertips of Jawan Jennings. It nearly was a serendipitous tip there, and Gray almost caught it, and he would have been gone. But nevertheless, Vikings defense came up big again.
No, you're in the right coverage at the right time for the right route, and nice job by DJ Wanham to get in there and not allow the quarterback to follow through, and that causes the ball just to float, just enough for Josh Metellus. Closing, almost got a hand on it. So that's right there where the pass rush makes the guys behind him so much better.
Mitch Wishnowsky, one of the better punters in the NFL, 4th year from Utah. He'll kick it to Amir Smith-Marset. BC Johnson about 15 yards in front of him. Wishnowsky is a Gosnells, Western Australia native, and he has all kinds of tricks up his proverbial sleeve. That one bounces inside the 15. It's a really nice one. So Kellen Mond and the Minnesota Vikings will try to traipse down the field and take the lead after that 56-yard punt by Wishnowsky. Back soon on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Vikings preseason action courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. We are scoreless deep in the first quarter. Here is the U.S. Bank Player Spotlight. And Peter, there is free agent Harrison Phillips.
Well, you knew he was special when he described himself as a fire hydrant at a dog show, meaning he's going to do a lot of the dirty work. And I was very interested to see how he was going to fit and how he was going to perform in this 3-4 scheme. You take a look at him, he hasn't missed too many meals. He takes up a lot of space. He can move an offensive lineman. He's strong, and that is the key. And I look forward to seeing him in action this season.
First down, Kellen from under center, straight drop, steps up, dump, caught Wong Wu at the 20-yard line. That's a gain of 7 against a 49ers team coached by one of the better in the business, Kyle Shanahan. He's in his 20th season coaching, and he's been the 49ers head coach for 6 seasons. 39-42 is his regular season record, 4-2 in the postseason. And with Kyle Shanahan, Ben Lieber, what are some things that make his offense so unique?
The thing that I appreciate about him is he loves the physicality of football. I mean, his offense, for as much as he gets attention for his innovativeness, finding different ways each and every week in the game plan to exploit the other defense, I think at his core and his foundation, he understands that football is a physical sport. So he has his offensive line geared up and teed up to tee off on you every single snap. He uses Juszczyk and Kittle in a way that they're like battering rams, but they're athletic as well. And then he allows
offense, number 81, 10-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
And then he allows defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans to have that same mentality and take total ownership of their defense, and they like to play downhill and hit guys in the mouth. So it's innovation, it's physicality. I love everything that he does.
And with Kyle Shanahan, 4-2 in the postseason. His only losses: Super Bowl to Kansas City, NFC title game to the champion Rams last year, Peter.
And I think Ben brings up a good point. He loves to run the football, and he runs it better, I think, than in his scheme offensively. He uses speed, he uses brawn. So he's a much more balanced offense than you see out of a lot of teams. 2nd and 13,
Kellen left, caught Ben Ellefson at the 16, second catch for Ben. And that'll be a gain of 6 yards. So we're looking at 3rd and right around 7. Back to Kyle Shanahan for a second. 3-1 lifetime versus the Vikings, including a division round victory after the 2019. He was Kirk Cousins' quarterbacks coach in Washington for a couple of years. Kellen, shotgun, scoreless game, hit and sack. Javon Kinlaw trying to open eyes. He's supposed to be a big timer, and that was a big time play. It's a loss of 11.
It's protection broke down eventually, but he had some time. Mond had enough time to really get rid of that football, get a feel for that internal pressure, Paul, and in a 3rd and long, a situation like he's in, he has to just get rid of the football, throw it out of bounds, and punt again. So you'd love to see him in that situation when he has that amount of time, either pull that thing down a little bit quicker and scramble, or just get rid of it.
Jordan Berry, the veteran punter for the Vikings' second punt. Ryan Wright, the undrafted kid from Tulane, got the first one. And from the center of the end zone, very high punt by Berry. Willie Snead runs up on it at the 42. No fair catch. And he's taken down by a Caleb Evans. 37-yard punt. And the Niners have really good field position at the 41-yard line. You know, Willie Snead, I referenced the Minneapolis Miracle game, Peter. Ben was here too, of course. And when Willie Snead played for the New Orleans Saints, the Vikings are leading 17-0 at halftime. Drew Brees goes shotgun, no huddle, like 24 consecutive plays. We had a block punt because of the backup long snapper. And remember that play when Willie Snead came on an end around, got the ball, threw a pass to Alvin Kamara, and if they connect on it, there is no Minneapolis Miracle.
No, you're right about that, and that was one of the things I think we saw when we saw Breeze later in his career. They were using a lot of other people to throw the football and to get it down the field. And typical New Orleans Saints, man, they run that gutsy play when no one else is expecting it, and it was open. And like I said, I'd rather be lucky than good. Let's put it that way.
Brock Purdy, the rookie from Iowa State, the new quarterback for the 49ers. Trey Lance will not play. Handoff for a few yards, make it 3. Brock Purdy, 7th rounder from Iowa State, took reps with the 2s Thursday during the joint practices. He was strictly with the 3s and the deep backups during the Wednesday joint at Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center. He made 48 starts at Iowa State, threw 81 touchdowns, 33 picks, and he had 19 rushing touchdowns. There's Purdy wearing 14, 3 of 6, 36 yards, and a touchdown against Green Bay in the first preseason game. About a minute to go in the first quarter. It's scoreless. Purdy throws left. The pass is Purdy, and it's caught by Jawan Jennings. Shy of the first down. It's a gain of 4 yards. Jennings, second year from Tennessee, had 5 receiving touchdowns last year, including a 3-yard touchdown against the Vikings out Santa Clara way when the Niners beat the Vikings last season.
You bring up Brock Purdy, and I'm sure Sage Rosenfels has wrote on him and loves the fact that he's an Iowa State guy. So there have been some Iowa State guys that make it in the NFL. Purdy's looking all right.
3rd and 3 for the 49ers. 0 of 2 on 3rd down. Purdy throws right, caught, dropped, incomplete. How about that coverage? Safety Josh Metellus, 3rd year from Michigan, able to strip it away from Jawan Jennings. And Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers will go for it again on 4th down. They're 0 of 1.
That's a great job by Josh Metellus to really disguise that blitz as long as he can. And the Vikings getting a free rusher, so the quarterback had to get rid of it very, very quickly. And Metellus got in there to break that thing up. But they got to respond and come up with another big play.
4th and 3 from the Vikings 34. Ray McLeod wide right. Pass over the middle, bobbled and knocked into the air, incomplete. This Minnesota Vikings defense stonewalling these Niners on 4th down. They now are 0 of 2. Now, by the way, to start the second quarter, Ben Lieber is going to have a sideline chat with Minnesota Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins. That will come up after the end of the first quarter and a short pause. Kellen Mond heads out for the Minnesota Vikings. Young Kellen, third-round pick in his second year from Texas A&M. 6 of 10, 43 yards. Make that Sean Mannion the quarterback, but Kellen, 6 of 10, 43 yards and a pick. And here comes the veteran, Sean Mannion, getting some early activity for Kevin O'Connell's Minnesota Vikings. Mannion hands it off to Ty Chandler. Now, Chandler was very, very questionable to play in this game, and it's cool that he is because a lot of fans are excited to watch him play off his performance at Las Vegas. Kirk Cousins with Ben Lieber coming up very shortly. No score. First quarter has come to a conclusion. This is the penultimate preseason game. It's the Vikings and the Niners on the Minnesota Vikings Entertainment Network. It's Vikings football, courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. Today's game stats are presented by Sleep Number, and the game is scoreless. It's the preseason, Peter, so as the sponsor would go, this one's kind of sleepy right now.
It is. I mean, there's nothing like a preseason pitcher's duel, you know, but defensively, the Vikings have been playing very well. The Vikings offense just needs to get in better position on third downs and convert some of these third downs.
Kirk Cousins coming up shortly with Ben as Mannion goes on play action, rolls out to the right, passes to the right, and it's caught by BC. BC Johnson with a gain of 6 yards. And he's just a little shy of the first down to begin the second quarter in a scoreless contest.
All right, you take a look at Mannion pulling off the bootleg, and you think that's the exact play that you want to see Kellen Mond do, right? Take the handoff, get him out in space, throw on the run, but Mannion does a nice job. And I think Mannion's getting the nod right now just to settle this offense down. He's a veteran. He knows what's going on in front of him, and this offense needs that.
Mannion, 8 of 12, 79 yards at Vegas. He hands it to Ty Chandler, and the former Tar Heel will weave his way to the right side for 3 yards, making it 2nd and 7. How about Ty Chandler at Vegas? 5 runs, 50 yards. He didn't catch any passes, but we forgive him for that. He had a kick return for 56 yards where he bounced off a Vegas Raiders DB. I mean, like he was just some ragdoll, just threw him off to the side. Now he's supplanted by Kene Wong-Wu, but that rookie from North Carolina, the 5th-round pick, Ty Chandler, he definitely opened some eyes. 2nd down, 2nd and 7. It's a quickie left to Amir Smith-Marset, and he dashes right back to the left, and he cannot make 49ers miss. So that'll be a gain of 1. And for the 49ers, the tackle, Demetrius Flanagan, fouls.
And Paul, you mentioned Ty Chandler, and he's a little nicked up going in this game. Well, in the National Football League at running back, you're not going to feel 100% too often. So you're going to have to get used to being a little nicked up. And so I'm very interested to see if his production really falls off, or if he's able to maintain the production that he had a week ago despite being a little bit injured.
3rd and 6. Vikings 1 of 4 on 3rd down. 3 receivers right, 1 left. Mannion, short drop, stays in the pocket, fires over the middle. Incomplete, and that's a shame because Tristan Jackson, the Syracuse kid, wide open at the 32-yard line. Holy cow.
And you see Mannion really, he adjusts the protection because he believes that he sees a blitz. And again, it's that pressure from up the middle not allowing the quarterback to follow through. So I don't care if you're Mannion, if you're Mond, if you have a 330-pound offensive lineman in your face and you can't follow through, that ball's not going to go where you want it to.
Tulane rookie Ryan Wright with his 2nd punt compared to 1 for Jordan Berry, end over end, bounces at the 5 and into the end zone for a touchback. Yeah, we're still scoreless. 12:45 to go in the first half. Niners ball. Kirk Cousins with Ben when we return. It's Vikings football. Vikings football is courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. Scoreless, 12:45 to go in the first half. Each team has utilized 2 quarterbacks. The 49ers began with Nate Sudfeld, 4 of 5, 36 yards. Brock Purdy, the Iowa State rookie, he's in now, 1 of 3, 4 yards. Kellen Mond started the game for the Vikings. 6 of 10, 43 yards and a pick after he drove the team 9 plays, 46 yards. Looked like they were in business. Sean Mannion's only possession, 2 of 3 for 7 yards. Wouldn't be surprised if Kellen started the second half. Purdy, Sermon around the left side, and he's thrust out of bounds at about the 23-yard line, gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
Paul, you talk about the defensive backs and Andrew Booth, and obviously in this league you have to be able to cover, but at times you also have to be there for run support. And I think if anything, Booth has done a nice job staying square at the point of attack and not giving up any extra yardage. So he's had a couple nice tackles tonight.
Kirk Cousins with Ben Lieber following this play. 12:15 to go in the first half, scoreless. 2nd and 7 for the Niners. I formation, play action. The Iowa State rookie is hit and he's sacked. I told you to look out for T.Y. McGill. 3 sacks this preseason. With Ben Lieber is Kirk Cousins. Hey Ben, late happy birthday to Kirk. His birthday was yesterday.
Well, thanks a lot. Listen, Kirk, before we start this interview, I just want to throw out a disclaimer that this is a family show, so no swearing, please.
We were fired up in practice this week. It was competitive. We got some great work against the Niners. Kevin told us going back to OTAs, he said, hey, the Niners are coming to town in mid-August. Those 2 days we practice against them are work days for you starters, and you got to bring it. And I thought we did a good job.
All right, going back to that comment just for fun, were you surprised you got as much attention as it did?
My wife's really the only one who brought it up to me. None of my teammates or anybody brought it up. I don't know that people here really know me, and I think maybe they were surprised, but I'm a fiery competitor, and obviously it showed there.
All right, love it. So there's so much to be made of this new offense coming in with Coach O'Connell. What can you tell the audience and the fans? What's the big differences from what we've seen in the past to this year?
We've had some success in the past. I mean, look at what Adam's done and Justin Jefferson and the way Dalvin Cook's run the football the last few years. So really the key is in learning this new system, let's make sure we're still, productive and we're still protecting the football and moving the football through the air and on the ground. So it's a good system. It's had success in the past, and the key for us is getting to where it's instinctual.
All right, real quick, what is Wes Phillips? You're connecting with him again. What's he mean as an offensive coordinator to you now?
Yeah, it's been nice to have some familiarity there with Wes. Even Chris O'Hara, our quarterback's coach, worked with us in 17 in Washington. Obviously, Kevin is the head coach. So the system has evolved a lot. I mean, I got to tell you that Sean McVay and that group has really evolved over the last 5 years when I was away from them. But it's been good to kind of learn it and then have some familiarity from the past. And hopefully that helps us, week 1, hit the ground running.
All right, for you personally, the one thing I've really appreciated about you, and you're honest with it and open with it, every offseason you try to work on something, whether that's scrambling, pocket awareness, taking care of the ball when you're getting pressured. What sort of things are you focused on this offseason for this season coming up?
I think this year it was just so much change. A new head coach, new GM, a lot of new faces in the building. And now being in year 11, there's so much that I've kind of figured out and learned, but now with new people, you're starting over again. And so it was, hey, this playbook, these people, you'd love to have 4 years together. We just don't have that luxury. And so really it was about trying to take OTAs, minicamp, and training camp and really get caught up to speed as fast as we can.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Best of luck this season.
Yeah, always good to see you.
Nice job, Ben. Thank you, Kirk. Now, you saw it if you're watching Fox 9, but for KFAN and the Vikings Radio Network, we had a problem on a punt return. Emir Smith-Marset turned it up, and veteran wide receiver Malik Turner forced a fumble that was recovered by Samuel Womack III. I mean, he's like a takeaway machine this preseason. Womack, a 5th-round rookie from Toledo, had 2 picks off Jordan Love in the Green Bay game, and he recovered the fumble, and Sudfeld's back in the game. Shanahan wants some points, so he puts the veteran in. Asamoah comes on a blitz on 2nd and 11. The pass goes right to Sermon, and he's encountered by a Caleb Evans, who's playing a whale of a game in the early stages. It's going to be 3rd down for these 49ers. About 10 minutes to go in the first half. 3rd and 7. That punt return situation, Pete, we talked about it pregame on KFAN and the pregame show. Either Emir Smith-Marset or Jalen Nailor, one of those guys has to grab this thing and grab it soon.
No, you're right, and that's one thing you can't do is turn that football over. You want to make sure when that whistle blows, it's in the hands of the offense, and for Amir Smith-Marset, that was a very, very big mistake.
Sudfeld, shotgun. Donatel rushes 4, pass right, incomplete. Now that's a preseason situation right there, because the tight end Tanner Hudson, 3rd year from Southern Arkansas. I mean, he had a first down. He might have been inside the 10, but he dropped it.
Yeah, he had plenty of green to turn that thing up. And, you know, Brian Asamoah, who put together a couple really nice plays. He had a great stop on the run. He had a great disguise on the blitz. He's got to get out there and cover that tight end of the flat. Now, you may not be able to stop the catch, but you got to tackle him before he gets the first down.
Robbie Gould, 18th year from Penn State. A bastion of kicking excellence from 48. Snap spot, and it's good. And the 49ers have taken the lead off an Amir Smith-Marset fumble on a punt return. 3-zip Niners. It's Vikings football. Well, we got Pat Peterson on the TV screen. Yeah. So I'm going to make him prohibitively favored. You got Harry the Hitman, who's been around quite some time. I'm gonna say Pat Peterson. What about you?
I would have to agree with you on that one, Paul. It's just you can't miss the layup. They had him on the screen. He's missed only a handful of games throughout his entire career. He's a hell of a good football player.
Gould with a high end over end kick. Amir Smith-Marset lets it bounce through the end zone for a touchback. It's Harry the Hitman, or is it? It's Pat Peterson.
There you go.
Look at the old okey doke there showing Harry the Hitman. Maybe it was Jordan Hicks. Who knows?
Yeah, Hitman Harry's sporting a little different haircut there. Looks like he got into a battle with a hedge trimmer and lost.
The Niners went 4 plays, 3 yards, took a minute and a half. Again, it was off a punt return attempt and a fumble by Amir Smith-Marset. Malik Turner poked it out. Womack, a rookie from Toledo, recovered it, and here comes Sean Mannion and the Vikings. Pass right, ball's tipped, and it's caught at the 28-yard line. It'll only be a gain of 3, but Nick Muse, the rookie tight end from South Carolina, that's a tough ball to catch when it's tipped, right?
It is, and the great concentration to stay on that football and to bring it down. And you know, when we took a look at Muse when he was in college, he was a very, very good red zone receiver. And so not surprising that he comes down, you know, with that football. He's got to meld his game. He's got to be able to block, got to be a little bit more balanced. But we have a number of tight ends that are vying for opportunities to play in this offense.
Muse, a 7th rounder from South Carolina. Mannion, empty backfield, throws right, caught Zach Davidson. This must be the tight ends drill. Catches it far side at the 33. It'll be a gain of 6 yards by Zach Davidson. First down for the Vikings. 1 catch, 12 yards at Vegas. Irv Smith Jr. injured himself and will not be available for the preseason, but to all indicators are he will be available when the Vikings play the Packers here in 22 days.
And Paul, I think that last play is a great example of why O'Connell likes Mannion, because he makes quick decisions. He gets the football out in the flat. You get the ball quickly to Zach Davidson. He's able to turn things up and then move the chains. So nice play by Mannion.
Harrison Phillips with Ben coming up shortly. Handoff Ty Chandler. Shakes a tackle at the 35. Grinds his way to the 40-yard line. Ty Chandler with a run of 6 as we run down to Ben.
Hey guys, I have newly acquired Harrison Phillips from the Buffalo Bills. Signed a 3-year deal this offseason. So I just want to start off first. Since you're new, what's your impressions of the Vikings and the Vikings fan base so far?
I mean, I love everything that we're doing from the top down in the organization. It's fun being in the NFC now and seeing the different opponents that we'll face. But it's been great. I think that we're trying to build our culture, this team's identity right here, right now. And sometimes that's done through the preseason. So this is the first taste that we get to see of the 2022 Minnesota Vikings. And it's excited to be here in front of all these fans. That Skull chant was pretty hype, but it's just the preseason, so I'm excited.
When you talk about developing that culture, what do you think that's going to end up looking like for you guys?
Man, it's tough. You know, we try to face as much adversity as we can through the training camp, a little bit back in the off season, but it's really going to be how do we handle that adversity when the season comes. So I know that we really love our shell defense. I love the way we set edges. We pride ourselves in our tackling and how we are up front. And so I think that connectiveness and partnership is one of the biggest things of building this thing, and we're working on all that right now.
Yeah, your position, the nose tackle position in a 3-4, a base 3-4, maybe the most important position on the field. How do you approach the significance of your spot?
I love it. I love the role that I'm in, and one of the cool things is it's very unselfish football. You know, I get to eat up blocks and let these guys behind me, who I'm becoming great friends with, you know, EK and Hicks and those guys, and it's really fun. I'm so thankful that I have DT next to me and some of these other guys that are coming along for us, so it makes my job a lot easier.
All right, so you won the Walter Payton Man of the Year last year with the Buffalo Bills for your community work. Why is it so important for you to get out in the community, and what are you looking for as far as giving back to Minnesota and the Minnesota community?
Yeah, I can't wait to grow my foundation, Harrison's Playmakers, here in the Twin Cities. We work with children and young adults with developmental differences and special needs, and I think this is almost selfish. I love working with the kids and young adults so much that I get a lot out of it. And I can't wait to bring that here. I think I'm planning my first event here in about 2 weeks. So I'm really excited to grow Harrison's Playmakers here.
All right, man. Thanks so much. Glad that you're here, man. Good luck to you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
3-0 Niners. Niners ball, 6:48 to go in the first half. With Ben and Pete, I'm Paul on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Vikings football, courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. On the Northland Ford scoreboard, you see the 49ers lead 3-0. The only points coming from the leg of Robbie Gould, 49-yard field goal, 4 plays after Emir Smith-Marset, second-year Iowa, lost a punt. It was poked away and then recovered by the Niners. Robbie Gould, football immortality, 11 with Chicago, last 5 with the Niners. How about this? In the postseason, Robbie Gould, 15 of 15 on field goals, 29 of 29 on extra points. Old Robbie Gould, good as gold most of the time. Sudfeld leading 3-0, throws over the middle, and it's caught by Dwelly at the 25-yard line. First down for the 49ers. Sudfeld, Dwelly, that's good for 16.
Well, Paul, you know, you're getting back to that 4-man front, and he had plenty of time, the quarterback, to look strong and then go to the backside. So just a simple flat and slant route, and they're able to move the chains. And for the defense, Paul, you look at this, the time of possession battle. You can't allow this, the San Francisco offense to just get down the field on you.
Vikings go nickel. Nate Hairston, the extra DB, and a handoff goes to the right side, and Tyrion Davis-Price, a third-round rookie from LSU. He got 5 yards, but he paid for it. Josh Metellus with the stick.
No, Paul, and I think Josh Metellus is a guy that last week I'm sure he had a few plays that he wished he had back, right? And then this week he's come out and really been around the football, and as a safety, that's what matters most. He's come up, made a couple nice tackles. So Metellus, I think, is playing very, very well the first half of this game.
2 receivers left, 1 right on third down. Sudfeld, play action, 5.5 minutes to go in the first half. Throws to the left side. It's incomplete. Looking for Malik Turner, 5th year from Illinois. Unrestricted free agent pickup from the Dallas Cowboys. Now, to begin the third quarter, we are going to have Minnesota Vikings general manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, as a member of the Vikings is down at about the 50-yard line. It is Andrew Booth Jr., the rookie corner from Clemson. Cam Dantzler did not dress this evening. Likewise for Patrick Peterson and/or former Packer, and nickel corner Chandon Sullivan. But make sure you're here with us to begin the third quarter. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, GM of the Vikings. He will be with us in the TV booth chatting Vikings football.
Now we're kind of all holding our breath as we see Andrew Booth down. As far as, you know, he or Cameron Dantzler, which one of them is going to start? We just need all of them, and for him to have help to come off the field, that does not look good.
Yeah, this ain't good.
It was a non-contact injury. He was just down the field and tried to pivot to cover an out route, and went down in a bit of a heap. Looks like he's in a lot of pain, but not a great sign right now for Andrew Booth, and we'll keep an eye on that injury, because like I said, we're already short at the corner position, and we can't afford to be losing anybody for the season opener.
Harrison Hand, 3rd year from Temple, 5th rounder in 2020. He supplants Booth Jr. The 49ers 0 of 5 on third down. It's 3rd and 5 from their own 32. 3 receiving options left, 1 to the right. Hasty is the tailback. Turner in motion in front of Sudfeld. 3-zip Niners second quarter. Minnesota rushes 4. And Patrick Jones with T.Y. McGill. T.Y. McGill. 4 preseason sacks. Holy cow.
He is a load in the middle of this defense, Paul. And you look at someone like T.Y. McGill, he's not doing it just with power. He was doing it right there with the moves, the shiftiness to get outside and get over the center and come from the backside of the quarterback. So T.Y. McGill, this is his 8th season and his 8th football team. So he's had kind of a journeyman career, Paul, but with the change in defensive scheme, I think he's filling a need thus far with this defensive front with the Minnesota Vikings.
Go ahead and doubt T.Y. McGill. Wisnowski. Emir Smith-Marset fields it nearly from his knees. Makes one guy make it, 2 guys miss. Ooh, he's mad. He fumbled. 35-40 with a head of steam and some fury. Emir Smith-Marset with a 14-yard return. And Deshaun Mannion runs the Minnesota Vikings back out to the field. Now, we talk about this punt return battle between that guy, Emir Smith-Marset, and 83 Jalen Nailor. Emir Smith-Marset had all of 0 punt returns at Iowa. So this is completely new to him. And for Jalen Nailor, the Michigan State 6th-round rookie this year, he had 8 punt returns for the Spartans, 0 TDs, and he only registered 6 yards per return.
Yeah, and if you look at a position where, you know, you're strong pretty much everywhere, you got a big wide receiver room, the talent is there. We just have to find someone that can take care of that position.
Mannion from under center, play action. Whips one out to the right, caught first down. Tristan Jackson at about the 43-yard line. First down for the Vikings, connection of 17.
Now you see Tristan Jackson running a really, really deep comeback from the far side of the field, and I honestly think he was surprised when he turned around and saw this football was on its way, Paul. So a great throw by Mannion coming from 1 hash mark all the way to the other side of the field. And, you know, I think Mannion has a bit of a settling presence on this offense right now.
3-zip Niners, about 4 minutes to go in the first half. The 49ers get the ball to begin the second half. Handoff goes to Wanwu. And Kane straight up the middle for a gain of 3 yards. 2nd and 7. Before the game, I was chatting with a Viking fan named B.C. Mavison. And when it comes to the depth of the backfield, where do you think Kane fits in with Alexander Madison and the rest?
Now, right now, I think he's still vying for that number 3 position. I think between he and Ty Chandler, I think Wanwu brings a little bit more to the table right now as far as what he can do and what he can do in space. And he has some experience in the NFL. So, you know, Chandler has done some great things in that running back room, Paul. They're going to have to make some tough decisions, I think, once the season gets underway.
Pass left, caught BC close to the first down flag. All indicators, including from our statistician, David Koob, it's going to be holding on the defense.
Before the pass, holding defense, number 36. That penalty is declined. The play results in a first down.
Tariq Castro Fields, 6th-round rookie from Penn State, couldn't hang with BC.
You know, again, BC Johnson doing a nice job on the outside, just getting up the field. And, you know, if the DB doesn't necessarily have to concede his space to the wide receiver, but BC runs that route right into him and forces the corner to hold on to him. So a nice route again by BC Johnson.
3-zip Niners. Mannion, 8th year, hands it to Ty Chandler. And Chandler heads to the left side and bulldogs his way for a gain of 4 yards. 2nd and 6. With Chandler, I mean, he splashed so mightily in that Raiders game with just the style of running, the upright style of running. He spun off a guy. He had that nice kick return. What do you think of Chandler?
Well, so far he's done a lot of great things, and for him this offense is a big change from what he ran in college, where they were in shotgun most of the time. Now we're going to chance to see Chandler flex out and line up as a wide receiver. This is where I think he can add to this offense as well with his speed and the receiving that he did in college. Don't be surprised if they throw him the ball.
Mannion throws left. It was a quickie because the Niners blitzed. Caught Emir Smith-Marset at the 7, make that the 23. First down Vikings, gain of 6. Let's take a look at Chandler from Allegiant Stadium. Gone with the Pete.
Yeah, one of the things I like is just when he runs the football, he keeps his shoulders square. And when a running back hits that mesh point, he's still square. It gives him the ability to stay front side, cut back, watch and let things develop. And then you saw it in his college film. He's tough to bring down. He's not, he's not the biggest running back in the NFL by any means, but he can withstand a hit and he keeps his balance. So he does a very, very nice job of bouncing off of potential tacklers.
2-minute warning. Niners get the ball to begin the second half. We begin the second half with Vikings general manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. Deep penetration by the Vikings, trailing by 3 on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Preseason football on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Ben Lieber, Pete Bursich, Paul Allen. The 49ers lead 3-0. Kellen Mond, your second-year quarterback, who had quite the game against the Las Vegas Raiders. He got the start. 6 of 10, 43 yards, threw an interception. Sean Mannion supplanted him. Sean, 8 of 10, 51 yards. And on 1st and 10 from the Niners, 22. Mannion goes under center. Emir Smith-Marset in motion. Handoff right side goes to Kovacs. Boom, spurts inside the 15. I thought he had a chance to get loose. Nevertheless, it'll be a first down run. Bryant Kovac, undrafted from Toledo, 11.
Well, he had 4,000 plus yards at Toledo, almost averaged 6 yards per carry. You see his speed there, Paul, and that's kind of something that's unknown about him, is his straight line speed. And to see him bounce outside and get to that second level, that was a heck of a run. And for the Vikings, you look at this running back room, Paul, I think all of these guys that sit there and watch film every day can impact and make a team and be productive at this level. So they're going to have some tough decisions to make in that room.
Ben Lieber on the sideline with, sadly, an update on rookie Andrew Booth Jr. What's up, Ben?
Yeah, guys, he's officially been ruled out of this game with an ankle injury. And Pete, you talked about it, sort of a non-contact deal where he kind of rolled his ankle, had a hard time getting off the field, but officially he's out for this preseason game number 2.
Appreciate you, Ben. Mannion out of the shotgun. Sean, 8th year Oregon State. Back to pass, trailing by 3, throws it high, caught Emir Smith-Marset, shakes a tackle at the 5, and he's out of bounds at the 3-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8. 1:45 to go in the first half. 3-0 49ers. The Vikings have 3 timeouts remaining. The Niners have 2. And the offensive line, which none of the first teamers started the game, but we do have some shifting. Blake check that, no shifting. The Blake Brandel still at right tackle. Ed Ingram is the right guard. Kyle Hinton left guard. Oliudo the left tackle. Schlottman the center. And he gives it to Mannion, who gives it to the tailback, who goes pounding up the middle for a Minnesota Vikings touchdown. It's Ty Chandler.
And Paul, great job on the front side by Ed Ingram. Get the double team on that nose tackle, get up to the second level, and just let Chandler follow those big legs in front of him. So great job by the offensive line. On that series, Paul, protection has improved. We saw both the quarterbacks, Mannion and Mond, struggle with pressure in their face, and they've settled down up front, which has been, really allowing Mannion to survey the field, throw some short throw some short passes, run after the catch. So a nice series put together by this Vikings offense. Mannion has come in, settled it down, made the right reads, has been very efficient. Not explosive yet. We're yet to see this offense, I think, get super explosive, but he's been very efficient.
Greg Joseph playing for the same team for the first time in his career, back-to-back seasons. 2 of 2 on extra points and 2 of 2 on field goals at Las Vegas. Trying to kick the Vikes to a 7-3 lead. Right, the Tulane rookie, holds. Andrew DePaula snaps. (7-6). 1:39 to go in the first half. Sean Mannion with a fantastic drive, getting the Minnesota Vikings into the end zone after 8 plays, 60 yards. It took 3 minutes. And Ty Chandler, for all of his great work against the Las Vegas Raiders, he gets paid off in this game against the Niners with a 3-yard touchdown run. courtesy of U.S. Bank. Here's the first part of the Minnesota Vikings schedule, Peter.
Well, it doesn't get any bigger than playing the Packers for a home opener. I'll tell you that. And that's a huge game. 3 of the first 5 against division opponents. You have a road game against what we expect to be a much improved Eagles team. And then you got to go to London and beat up on the Saints.
Then you're at the Bills November 13th. Those 3 in a row there after that. Dallas, New England here Thanksgiving night, then the Jets. I mean, that's a very, very important stretch right there.
It is, and that's really the only, you look at the first half of the season, it's home and away, and then you get stacked. 3 home games in a row, 1 game in Detroit, and then 2 more at home. So that's 5 out of 6 right here in November and December. And those are going to be huge games. We're going to need the fan base excited for the home field advantage.
Greg Joseph, unlike his kicks at Vegas, he runs up on this one and mortars it over the head of Marcus Johnson, unrestricted from Tennessee. Analyze this, Peter.
Well, again, a nice job up front, especially by the center, Schlottman and Ingram at guard. They get the double team, and the most important part of that is that they move the defensive lineman. They get him back. They get him off the line of scrimmage. And after the handoff, Chandler's just able to kind of get in behind them and surf that wave and able to get through the end zone or get through the goal line for a touchdown. So nice job up front with the offensive linemen. They're getting a better feel for double teaming and getting up to that second level.
The center Schlottman, unrestricted from Denver, backs up Garrett Bradbury. Niners have 2 timeouts. Rookie Purdy back in the game, looks right, sees nothing, pumps. Now he puts the pedal to the metal to the left side across the 25 to the 30. Patrick Jones in hot pursuit, and Purdy is down at the 33. It's a run of 8 as Kyle Shanahan's team sprints to the line of scrimmage with 1:20 and counting to go in the first half. 7-3 Vikings. Flags, false start, road team.
You take a look at the defensive line, especially with Patrick Jones. You got to be able to chase down that quarterback. They've done a nice job, our front on defense, in getting the quarterback to scramble. We got to do a little bit better job with these line games and keeping contained, because you do want to get the quarterback out of the pocket.
Offense, number 82, 5-yard penalty, still second down. That penalty incurs a 10-second runoff. Please set the game clock to 1:08. The clock will start on my ready for play signal.
4 penalties, 31 yards on the Niners. A week after 8 penalties at Allegiant, the Vikings have just 1 for 10 yards. Minute 8 to go in the first half. The 49ers.
10, and the clock will start on my ready for play signal.
They get the ball to begin the second half. Once again, Vikings general manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah will be with us to start the third quarter. Purdy, rookie from Iowa State, 7th rounder, rolls out to the right side, leaps away from a Viking and throws the ball away. Good tip by Derek Keys, or excuse me, a member of the strength and conditioning staff. Man, we got athletes all up and down this sideline. Holy cow. Well, even the coaches can catch.
Exactly. Nice job down the field in coverage. Safety's sitting under the deep in routes and not letting anything happen. And Paul, you mentioned the improvement in penalties. The difference today has been -2 in the take give, right? The interception and the fumble punt return. Without those, I think the Vikings would not only have a 7-point lead, but probably more than that.
7-3 Vikings, a minute to go in the first half, and another false start on these 49ers.
False start, offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down. There's no 10-second runoff because the clock was stopped.
Keaton Sutherland played with Kellen at Texas A&M. So now 3rd and 12, like take 13. Gray wide left, had a 76-yard TD against the Packers last week. We like him for that. 2 receivers right, 2 left. Niners 0 of 6 on 3rd down. Tight end in motion to the right, so 3 receiving options right. Patrick Jones just bull rushed somebody. Pass right, that's cold-blooded. Caught, first down. Very nice pass by Purdy. And it's to the 44-yard line. Malik Turner, that is, with a 20-yard connection. 49ers still with 2 timeouts. Kevin O'Connell has 3. Purdy in a hurry, throws over the middle, and it's caught. Willie Snead, the veteran former Saint and Raven, with a gain of 11 yards. And in lickety-split fashion, another first down for the San Francisco 49ers. And we have a timeout on the field. Niners will use one of their 2 timeouts, trailing 7-3. There's Kevin O'Connell, 37-year-old head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. He was an offensive coordinator for the champion Rams for 2 years. Beat these Niners in the NFC title game last year en route to Super Bowl 56. Before that NFC title game win, Kyle Shanahan's 49ers had beaten the Rams 6 consecutive. O'Connell made his coaching debut in 2015 as Cleveland's quarterbacks coach. And he was a quarterback in the National Football League, drafted by Belichick in 08. 3rd-round pick from San Diego State University. 1st and 10 for San Francisco, 7-3 Minnesota. Purdy, 4-man rush, whips it over the middle, and it's caught again. Tanner Hudson, 3rd-year Southern Arkansas. Hudson won a Super Bowl with the Buccaneers with Greg Joseph and Tom Brady. Purdy, 20 seconds to go in the first half, throws left, caught Willie Snead, and he can get out of bounds, so the clock stops with 15 seconds to go in the first half. The only touchdown, Ty Chandler, North Carolina rookie for the Vikings. Robbie Gould was good from 49, and it's 7-3 Minnesota.
Well, Paul, and that's 2 weeks in a row now that our defense has given up a big play on 3rd and longer than 10. And both times it was in that area of Josh Metellus. And it's a bit of an awareness issue, I think, with some of the younger safeties and just knowing where they are in the field and where the route is going to go. You're playing a middle open type defense. You just can't let those in routes come underneath you.
Purdy, fade, end zone, left side, caught, but out of bounds. No flags on the play. Danny Gray, he was the intended receiver, that 3rd rounder from SMU. Pretty good coverage there by Harry Hand.
Yeah, but just a long foul ball in that case. So Harrison Hand comes in with Andrew Booth going out with an ankle injury, and the body position there, that is what helped him out. As soon as he turned his shoulders, he drifted into the wide receiver and just squeezed that space in between the sideline and the defender and made that quarterback throw it out of bounds. So great body position by Harrison Hand.
9 seconds to go in the first half. Purdy back to pass. Same play, end zone, left side, incomplete. Going after Harrison Hand, replacing Andrew Booth Jr., who sadly got hurt. Turner, the intended receiver there, and it was incomplete. So now Robbie Gould, with 4 seconds to go in the first half, will try a 46-yard field goal. T.Y. McGill, with those sacks today, he has 4 in the preseason. What do you think transpires more, Pete? T.Y. McGill eating up quarterbacks, or our friend Brian Harper mashing on these gummy worms in the box?
Yeah, he had to put him in front of me to stop himself.
Robbie, hooking left, and it's good. Robbie Gould, 2 of 2, generating all the points for the San Francisco 49ers. An interview with Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell coming up very shortly, with Ben Lieber on the sideline. 7-6 Minnesota. Got a lot of respect for Robbie Gould. 5 for his last 12 from 50 plus. But nevertheless, 18 years in the NFL. Here's Ben with Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, thanks a lot, BA. Here with head coach Kevin O'Connell. Offense a little sluggish in the first half, but then picked it up at the end. What'd you see from Sean in that offense to put the touchdown on the board?
Yeah, we were just, having trouble stacking plays together. We moved the ball on that initial drive. Kellen made some nice plays to start the game, and then we just pocket kind of collapsed and didn't do a great job handling the pressure on that play. And we throw an interception, kind of stalls the drive. How about the defense, though? Those guys playing great, just getting us some fields, getting us the ball back when we can. And then just that last drive is really indicative of what we want to be. Marriage of the run and the pass, Sean making the right play, Amir making some plays, but it started with Amir's punt return there, and I love seeing that after him putting the ball on the ground once. So all in all, we got a lot to clean up still with these groups that are in the game for us, but I love the effort of the guys.
All right, appreciate it. Good luck in the second half.
Yeah, thanks, Ben.
All right, guys, that'll do it for us. It's Vikings 7, 49ers 6. This is the Minnesota Vikings on Minnesota Vikings Entertainment Network.
Minnesota Vikings preseason football is presented by U.S. Bank, the official bank of the Minnesota Vikings, by Twin Cities Orthopedics, the official orthopedics provider of the Minnesota Vikings, and by Miller Lite, the official beer of the Minnesota Vikings.
The Minnesota Vikings and San Francisco 49ers are doing battle at U.S. Bank Stadium. Welcome back, Pete Vercich, Paul Allen, and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, general manager for the Minnesota Vikings. The fans, I can tell, have resonated with you greatly throughout the early stages of your general managerial regime, because, I mean, big crowd here, but at that night practice when I was with you, you were looking around being like, this should be on Football Night in America.
Incredible. But, you know, I keep saying it. People love ball in Minnesota. That's the first and foremost thing. And I love football, and I think we connect on that. I've been just so excited and just really gracious at how they've accepted me into their community.
You got the opportunity to see your first Skull chant. What do you think? I mean, what do you think of that and the traditions that we have here?
Goosebumps, man. I wish I could tell you that it was something different, but it was goosebumps going on like crazy as it was going on. Watching it now, yeah, it's incredible.
I mean, you get the fake snow going. You're not going to like to see the fake snow when the real stuff's on the ground.
Well, I thought that was your dandruff.
It was funny as it was happening. I could see Kevin taking it in the same way I was down there. It's awesome. We can't wait to see it again on September 11th.
What has it been like working with Kevin from a collaboration standpoint?
It's incredible. It started on the interview process. You know, I set out wanting a certain thing in a head coach, and really we identified it and set up the interview to really identify those skill sets and a person who fits it. And Kevin's done it to a T, and it's made my job so much easier. It made our personnel staff's job so much easier. He's positive. He's collaborative. He's an incredible thought partner. I'm so excited about what we're building.
Marcus Johnson, veteran receiver, tried to get loose far side. Albert Wilson pushed him out of bounds. Now it's preseason. We understand that. But overall, what did you think of the first half?
You know, obviously, you're always trying to put together plays. I think we were 1 of 6 on third down, so that we didn't sustain drives. But you always look for those moments, those young players getting better, taking that next step. You see flashes here and there. I thought that Caleb Evans really stood out, showing up in run support, making a couple plays in the secondary. We had some other guys, Brian Asma, continuing a great preseason. The offensive line, second group. You know, T.Y. Hilton making it really tough. And, you know, just we love seeing those plays and sticking out. You don't pay as much attention to the score in the preseason so much as plays and individual players.
Yeah, Kwesi, I don't know if preseason sack records are recorded. But your guy T.Y. McGill's trying to break it. I mean, 2 last game, 2 this game. And it's like not a lot of people have heard of him, and he's been around the league for a while. But yeah. I love when players like that get some shine, no matter the time of the year.
Absolutely, he's an upfield guy, and I also just love the camaraderie and the bond that you can see this team building. Everybody doing the TY together. It's special to see.
Well, you mentioned T.Y., and like Paul was saying, this is his 8th season, his 8th team, spent a lot of that time with Indianapolis, but it's good to have a veteran to back up. You need to see a guy so quick off the ball and doing those things. You mentioned O'Connell before. I think the defense with Donatell has really responded as well. We're all expecting and thinking about what's our offense going to look like. Well, this switch to the 3-4, especially with these guys up front, I think is gone very well.
Especially, you know, we love philosophically what it does. It's designed to stop the modern game. You want to be odd up front, stop the running game, but also 2 high safeties, limit explosives, make them earn it down the field. We love this philosophy. It's something that Kevin really wanted to make sure he had on his defense, and we've tried to build our personnel around it.
Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, general manager for the Minnesota Vikings. Here comes a corner blitz from Hairston. So Purdy, the Iowa State rookie, goes the other way. And it is caught by Hudson, one of their backup tight ends, for a 49ers first down.
Well, you take a look at the quarterback battle that's going on, and you know, you guys are trying to figure out Kellen Mond, and can he be the #2 guy? You've got kind of a little nice back and forth between the two. What about each of the quarterbacks have you liked thus far?
You know, Kellen Mond, he's got a ton of arm talent. You noticed that right away. The first time we came in OTAs, you see the arm talent up close. It's special. He's got mobility in the pocket. Sean Mannion can run an offense, make quick decisions, kind of move through his progressions. And, you know, look, Sean's been doing it a little longer. Kellen's a younger player. He's trying to develop, get to that place. And so really we're just trying to be open-minded, you know, objective in how we view them and see who's the best player to be our backup.
Ben Lieber on the sideline. Here's Kwesi, Ben.
Hey, thanks a lot. Hey, Kwesi, Ben Lieber down here. Hey, Just a question for you, as you're just, growing into this scouting and evaluation of players, both in college and the NFL, what's some of the fundamental things that you look for when you're watching them on tape?
Yeah, I always try and identify how players, provide value on the field. And it's not really much more simple than that. For a cornerback, for example, there's certain things that they do to provide value on the field, and you're just trying to look for evidence of that. We always talk about an evidence-based organization, where we seek evidence that provides support for a player's ability or inability to do something. We really take that information and kind of combine it and make our decisions from there.
Kwesi, how important were your days working with the 49ers, shaping you for what you're doing now, and specifically a new hire, Vice President of Pro Personnel Demetrius Washington, came from the Niners team last year.
Yeah, looking across that sideline, I still get those special feelings. That's where my NFL journey started, and I'm so grateful to them. But you talk about Demetrius Washington, somebody I shared an office with for 5 years, who knows me not just on a football sense, but when you're office mates, you become psychologists, friends, family members, all those things. He knows me in a way that most people don't. He can make me the best version of myself that I need to be. Incredibly talented, quick, gifted, and he sat at the helm with Kyle Shanahan and DeMeco Ryans and learned from people like that. So of course he's going to help the Minnesota Vikings.
And we see Kyle Shanahan
for the pass
penalty.
Defense,
yeah.
number 27. That penalty is declined. The play results in a first down.
Kyle Shanahan, 20th season in the NFL, 6 seasons as coach of the 49ers. He has 2 postseason losses. One was in the Super Bowl. The other was last year in the NFC title game after his Niners beat the Rams 6 consecutive times. I know you hold Kyle in high regard.
I do. He's been special to me. Him and his family. Mike, I got to catch up with this week as well. I think he's one of the most preeminent minds in the game we have, and what he does is make the complex very simple, and really started me on my NFL journey and really trying to understand this complex game and make it simple, and honestly provide my skill set to what it is. But he's incredible. They're a tough out. People don't know that there's a mentality that he breeds in the way they practice, the way they prepare, the way they run the football. That's where it's a tough out, and that's why I wanted to practice against them, because we're trying to be there at the end with them.
Now, as much as you knew about this position and what it entailed, what have you enjoyed the most thus far?
Some of the interactions with fans are amazing. I'm a pretty private person. My Instagram account probably doesn't draw many followers, but somebody coming up to asking for a picture and telling you that makes their day, something that small can impact people's lives. It's been a cool thing to see, but also just building a culture, building our processes in place. Some of the ideas I've had since I first came in San Francisco, and hey, this would be great if we tried this, and to see people's response has been really special to me.
Ben Lieber.
Yeah, I got another question. This one's really about Coach Kevin O'Connell. Now that the preseason started and the games have started, are you guys having questions, or you guys having conversations about how the in-game management is going, the clock management, all the play calling duties, all the duties that he has to take on as a head coach? Are you guys breaking those things down post-game?
Yeah, we talk post-game. We talk about the big events, the big swings in the game, and different things like that. But first and foremost, we made sure we put together a great staff that had people from Mike Pettin and Ryan Cordell and people like that to go through game management and things like that. So at my job is to be a macro leader, just kind of ask questions. But I trust the people we have. I think we got a talented team, and I'm happy to see, excited to see them do their jobs.
7-6 Vikings. Go ahead, Pete.
And how do you manage this transition from the college scouting? You draft a number of guys whom by the way are more than just football players. They have a lot of attitude, and I like that. I think this, that's one of the things our defense needed. But you make this transition where the coaches are spending every day with these young guys. How big does their impact in evaluating become larger in the scheme of things for you when you make these final tough decisions on who's going to be on the roster?
And you nailed it. Right? They're around them every day. We're about information, and they provide some great information because they're around them every day as people. They know their study habits, they know their work habits. They also know at a high level, hey, on that play, did he get to his reach block in the right way? They know if that was a good play or a bad play. So they're the best people I can go to seek evidence. But a lot of times their job is to be ready for Sunday. My job is to be ready for the next 2 and 3 years. So we come together, we mesh, and we figure out the best decision for the Vikings.
Davis Price, the LSU rookie, had a nice long run to make it 1st and goal. And now Tyrion is just shy of the end zone, so it'll be 2nd and goal. Now, all these players in front of us here are on the field, all highly conditioned athletes, very talented, right? Well, let me ask you this. who on this team can beat you one-on-one at basketball off the way you played at Princeton.
I think most of them probably could.
Oh, come on.
I'll be honest. Seeing these guys up close every day, I don't think people realize how talented they are. They'd walk into your local YMCA and give people a lot of buckets, I'm sure.
Yeah, but can they backdoor cut?
Oh, we got to
like
play.
A Pete Carril, Rays type guy.
We got to play.
Yes, we got to play. It was a fumble and a recovery by the Minnesota Vikings, and that came at perfect time, perfectly timed. It was Luigi Belain, undrafted from Wake Forest. Lacey, go ahead.
I think that was good luck for me answering that question truthfully, knowing that I can't beat many guys.
There you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Great having you up here. God bless and good luck, okay? Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. The Vikings have turned over the Niners, 7-6 Minnesota on the Vikings Entertainment Network.
That was funny.
Welcome back, courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network, U.S. Bank Stadium. Luigi Belain, 43 on the jersey, number 1 in your heart, Peter.
Yeah, and what you notice is the get-off by T.Y. McGill. You have all 3 of the interior offensive linemen from San Francisco covered up. And McGill, you know, he gets off this football maybe a little bit too early, but that's what caused the timing to go south for the Niners. They ended up putting the ball on the ground, and the Vikings are 1 turnover away from evening out this plus-minus ratio.
9 sacks for Wake Forest last season for Luigi Belain. Kellen's back in. He'll start the 3rd quarter for the Vikings. Sean Mannion led the team on a touchdown drive. Flag comes in from about 40 yards away from the play, as Kobach is the one to get the snap. We'll see what the penalty is. Adrian Hill's the ref. Kellen 6 of 10, 43 yards, and a pick.
I think Kwesi mentioned earlier what you'd like to see out of Kellen right now, and that's a good sustained drive, making things happen.
Holding defense, number 98. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Hassan Ridgeway, he's a veteran. He should know better than that. 7th year from Texas. Hassan Ridgeway, 7-6 Minnesota. After Luigi Belain forced a fumble inside the 1-yard line, right around the 2. The Niners were trying to get their first touchdown of this game. And Kellen Mond goes under center, 1st and 10 from his own 24. Kobach, the tailback, play action. It's a screen right, and nearly was intercepted. Drake Jackson, 2nd rounder from USC. Drake Jackson trying to get into the end zone on that screen.
Yeah, and that's on Oli Udoh. He's got to be responsible and knows what play is coming that you can't allow the defensive lineman to get back on his feet and to jump for that ball. So Oli Udoh's a veteran. He's been around for quite some time, and so he has to make sure you got to undercut him. Whatever you have to do, you can't let that defensive lineman get in the throwing lane on that play.
Myron Mitchell in for the Vikings, likewise for Albert Wilson. Albert had the Vikings' only 2 touchdown receptions at Vegas. Both came from Kellen, who's back to pass. Throws right, caught by Michigan State rookie Jalen Nailor. And Jalen Nailor is out of bounds on the 49ers portion of the equation as the sidelines go. It'll be a gain of 5. Nailor, 6th-round pick, a couple of catches, 22 yards at Vegas. Last season for the Spartans, averaged 18.5 yards per catch. 2nd in the Big Ten, Jalen Nailor. He's slot right. And now he goes in motion in front of Kellen Mond. Myron Mitchell wide right. Albert Wilson wide left. 7-6 Minnesota, 3rd and 5. Vikings 1 of 6 on 3rd down. Kellen takes the snap. 4-man rush. Throws over the middle. Incomplete. He was looking for Zach Davidson, who was in congestion at about the 35-yard line. So Luigi Belain saves the day, but the Vikings are not able to muster any form of an offensive drive. And Ryan Wright's getting a lot of action. He had a 54-yard punt against Vegas, and already he's been in the game more than Jordan Berry.
Well, when you're wearing 66 and you're a kicker, you know it's an uphill climb.
2 punts, 44 yards for Wright, undrafted from Tulane. And this is a boomer. Willie Snead moonwalks to the 11. And the veteran heads to the left side, and he's taken down at the 20-yard line. Midway through the third quarter, Minnesota 7, San Francisco 6. This is Minnesota Vikings football. It's Minnesota Vikings football, courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network with Ben Lieber and Pete Versich. I'm Paul Allen. We thank those of you with Fox 9 for watching, those of you listening at FM 100.3 KFAN and the Minnesota Vikings Radio Network. We thank you very much. We operate in simulcast-like fashion in the preseason and have for about a decade. You see Adam Thielen there with the camouflage baseball cap. He'll be joining Ben Lieber on the sideline very shortly. Kirk Cousins also with a camouflage hat. He joined Ben in the first half. And midway through the third quarter with a 1-point lead, the Vikings defend Nate Sudfeld. And the handoff for the 49ers goes to Tyrion Davis-Price, rookie from Louisiana State, with a dash of 4 yards.
Well, I think defensively, Ed Donatel has to be pretty happy with how his group has performed. I mean, they've been put in some tough spots after turnovers in this game. They had their backs against the wall deep in the red zone and still were able, you know, to get the ball back in the hands of the offense. I mean, that stopped on the play before the fumble. That was almost a touchdown. You always make that offense line up and snap the ball one more time because you never know what can happen.
Sudfeld with a shot over the middle, caught by Gray. First down, Niners. We sing it down to Ben Lieber on the sideline.
Well, thanks a lot, PA. I've got Adam Thielen here. Adam, I want to ask you this. Okay, you've been around the block for a long time, right? How would you describe the last 8 months here as a Minnesota Viking?
Well, first of all, thanks for calling me old. Secondly, no, yeah, it's been great. You know, for me, it's been you know, kind of a rejuvenation of just kind of fresh juice, fresh blood, and just the culture that's being created here, the leadership from top down has just been unbelievable, and the communication, the collaboration, it's like nothing I've ever seen. So obviously super exciting, but we got a long ways to go. We got to be able to go prove it on the field now and take advantage of what they're giving us and go out there and do it on the field.
All right, I'm playfully calling you old. You're not old, you're seasoned, okay? That being said, though, when I watch you out of practice, watch you, doing all these things, you still look just as quick and just as fast. What have you done this offseason and a lot of off seasons to stay fresh?
Yeah, this is the best I've ever felt, and I can honestly say that. But yeah, I think it's a culmination of people around me that know me. They've been around me for a long time, and they know what it takes to help me be my best. And then, just coming here with these coaches, this staff, the culture that's being put in place here, it's helping me be able to be at my best every single day, to be able to go out there and really perform every single day. And it's not always, not every organization is like that. So very thankful and blessed to be a part of that.
One of your coaches, wide receiver coach Keenan McCardell, he's one of the holdovers from the last regime, and Coach O'Connell kept him along. What is it about and what makes him so important, and why is he such an asset to this team and to you guys?
Yeah, just his ability to kind of relate to everybody. He was an undrafted guy. He played 17 years in the NFL, so he can kind of relate to everybody. He's been a star. He's been a guy who's been part of Super Bowl teams. So he's a guy that can relate to everybody, and he can give so much advice in so many different areas. So I'm very thankful and blessed that, I'm only in year 10, so for me, I'm young compared to what he was in year 17. So I'm blessed to have him here, and we are as receivers. And honestly, I think the coaches are starting to realize how important he is, just his leadership, his communication, and helping this football team to be the best.
All right, for you personally, you're 476 yards from overtaking Jake Reed for 4th most receiving yards in team history. If you pass him this season, which you will, what's that going to mean to you?
I don't know. It's one of those things that when I'm done playing, I'll be able to look at those things. So right now, I'm just trying to win football games. I don't know how many years I got left in my career, so I know that I want to win now, and I want to help this team win, and really that's generally all that matters. I think when you're a young player, You want to have stats. You want to perform well individually so that you can have a long career. You know, where I'm at right now, I just want to win, and I want to help this team win. And does that mean I want the ball? Yeah, absolutely. But most importantly, I want to help this team win.
Every receiver wants the ball.
Yeah, if you don't want the ball and you're a receiver, you're probably in the wrong position and you probably won't last very long. So if anyone tells you as a receiver they don't want the ball, they're lying.
I love it, man. Appreciate the time. Thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good job, Ben. That was great. AT19, Adam Thielen, 24 touchdowns the last couple of seasons. How about this, Peter? Adam has 39 touchdowns in his career with Kirk Cousins at quarterback. In the previous 4 years before Kirk got here, he only had 10. So Cousins and Thielen, I mean, they got a nice little thing going.
They do, and I think you look at Adam Thielen and what can you expect out of him at 30 or around 30? He's such a good red zone route runner, and he becomes so important. He's as valuable as a long, tall tight end when you get near the end zone. And so for Adam, the yards may go down a little bit, but I still expect the touchdowns to stay, the touchdowns to remain, and for him to be, a very viable red zone target.
Well, the Sudfeld's working us a little bit right now. Tay Martin, undrafted receiver from Oklahoma State, with the most recent reception. He's now top of the formation. The one at the bottom outside of the number 20 is Danny Gray. And getting the handoff for the 49ers is Davis Price. Be a gain of 3 yards. 2nd and 7 with the Vikings leading 7-6 in a rapidly moving third quarter.
Well, I've talked about Garoppolo and how he likes to throw the ball in between the hash marks and not a lot on the outside. And I'm starting to think it might be the scheme a little bit, because these Niners are really, really going after the middle of the defense, especially in the throwing game. So for our safeties, they've had some opportunities to make some plays, and they need to shore that up and secure the middle of the field.
10th play of a possession that has gone 62 yards. Sudfeld avoids a bad snap and a sack and fires it over the middle, and it's caught by Tay Martin for a gain of 2 on 2nd and 7. So it is 3rd and 5 from the Vikings 15-yard line. Bad snap. T.Y. McGill got through looking for his 5th sack of the preseason, but Sudfeld came through.
Nice job by Chaz Surratt to turn that go route off and then stay in his spot and then come down. And for Surratt, he went to college. He started out as a quarterback, made the transition to linebacker, and then led North Carolina in every single year after that in tackles. So he's still learning the position of linebacker.
Surratt 5 tackles at Vegas. Niners 4 of 11 on 3rd down. This is 3rd and 5 from the Vikings 15. Sudfeld goes empty. Donatel rushes 4, pass left in tight quarters, and it's caught at the 10-yard line. Tanner Hudson, that cat who played with the Buccaneers when Greg Joseph was on the practice squad and Tom Brady was the quarterback, and he got a ring. Now that's a gain of 5, so it's 1st and goal for the 49ers.
I think one of the things is this drive goes on, we're getting a fresh set of defensive linemen up front, and we need to start getting a little bit more pressure on the quarterback. He's had plenty of time to sit back there, survey the field, and just a nice strong arm throw. You got one-on-one safety versus a tight end. They're going to throw it to that big body and hope he comes up with it every time.
1st and goal. And Davis Price with the carry, heading to the right side. Grinds his way to 1 yard. The Niners were down inside the 10, in fact inside the 5, when Davis Price fumbled, and Luigi Villain, undrafted linebacker from Wake Forest, picked it up. Otherwise, the 49ers have kind of dominated this third quarter.
They have, and Paul, that's what they do, right? That's kind of their offense. Very controlled. Not a lot of explosives. We let them off the hook on a 3rd and long, but we haven't been beaten deep much. We're making them earn it, but you got to tighten this thing up. 2nd and goal from the 9. Sudfeld over the middle, caught by Hudson and stopped at the 5-yard line. Gain of 4, and that'll end the third quarter. It'll be 3rd and goal for the 49ers, with the Vikings leading 7-6. Ty Chandler, the rookie running back, with the only touchdown in the game. Robbie Gould is 2 of 2 on field goals. They'll flip the field, and the 4th quarter for US Bank Stadium coming up shortly on the Minnesota Vikings Entertainment Network.
Vikings football is courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. We lead by 1 into the fourth quarter. There is new defensive coordinator Ed Donatel, 32nd year coaching in the National Football League. He was a DB's coach for Dan Reeves' Denver Broncos back in '97 and '98 and won the Super Bowl a couple of times. He's been defensive coordinator for the Packers, Atlanta, along with the Denver Broncos last year, and the University of Washington. Eddie D in that 3-4, Peter.
Yeah, it's definitely not his first rodeo, and I think for Kevin O'Connell, who's first-time head coach, you know, he got his hands in the offense. You want someone with experience on defense, and Donatel fits that bill perfectly.
14th play of a possession that has taken nearly 8 minutes for Nate Sudfeld and the San Francisco 49ers. We have a flag.
Neutral zone infraction, defense, number 95.
Yeah.
Half the distance to the goal, still third down.
Janaris Robinson, second year from Florida State, trying to get a jump on that thing.
Yeah, he's trying to get a jump on a job as well. I mean, it's a bit of a transition. Another defensive end at Florida State. That's where he played. I loved what he saw. He's a strong guy, and now he's getting a shot to play some outside linebacker, so he's got to make that transition.
3rd and goal from the 2. The lanky Sudfeld has Hasty by his side. Short drop, looks right, throws over the middle, caught, touchdown, San Francisco 49ers. JaMycal Hasty. I think in the business, you former players call it an angle route.
Yeah, it was an angle route where he just faked outside just to get the linebacker to plant his feet. And so that's what happened. He just squared him up, kept his feet moving. William Cuenca just stopped his and was open. So that's a little option route underneath that the 49ers are so adept at doing. And up and down the field, Paul, not like I said, not like we've been getting gashed on defense where there have been explosive plays where they're getting up and down. They're forcing San Francisco 49ers to get it piece by piece and really earn it. However, with just a little under 15 minutes left to go in this game, they're set to take the lead here by 6.
2-point try. The Niners 1 of 1 this preseason, trying for the 2 flag.
You're going to get hit with a delay of game.
This possession, by the way,
There's no foul for delay of game.
Right.
Before the play clock expired, timeout, San Francisco, they're first.
Next level, Shanny didn't like what he saw. 14 plays, 79 yards, 7 minutes, 58 seconds. Sudfeld with a 3-yard pass to JaMycal Hasty. And JaMycal is in his 3rd year from Baylor. There's Kyle Shanahan. You know, when preparing for the game, I was a little surprised to learn he was 39 and 42 in the regular season. I just think Kyle Shanahan, and I just think a bunch of wins, you know?
Right. He's put together a great program. And he's going to have some challenges this year, I think, with missing some of the bigger names that he's had, especially on offense. But it looks like he's got some people to fill.
12-7 Niners. Pass over the middle. Gray uncovered for the 2. You're not really going to come in here and do the gritty, are you? I mean, come on, man. Okay. 14-7 49ers. Sean Mannion, I believe, will be the quarterback when we return. It's Minnesota Vikings football. Courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. Back at US Bank Stadium on Fox 9, KFAN, and the Vikings Radio Network. JaMycal Hasty caught a pass from Nate Sudfeld for the 49ers' only touchdown. They now are 2 of 2 going for the 2 this preseason, and that bumped the margin to 14-7 San Francisco. Trey Lance will be the starting quarterback for the 49ers this season. Minnesota quite familiar with him, a Marshall, Minnesota native. Class of 2018. There's young Trey with the camouflage hat. You know, it's interesting with Trey Lance. He has 389 pass attempts since graduating from Marshall High School in 2018. 318 at North Dakota State University, 71 for the 49ers last season. So, I mean, just shy of 400 pass attempts since 2018, and he's going to be the starting quarterback for a team that has Super Bowl aspirations. More on that coming up momentarily. Go back, the kick returner, and he was knocked backwards by a couple of big hits there after a 15-yard return. Ben Lieber joins us now. When it comes to Trey Lance, Ben, 30 touchdowns and 1 pick at North Dakota State University, 18 rushing touchdowns. What do you think overall of his game?
Well, it's a pretty interesting stat that you just laid out. Here's the thing that I think at North Dakota State, they did him a disservice his last year there by running the ball so much with him. So many designed quarterback run game. I get it. I saw him in person, and he's a well-built dude. I mean, he's got thick lower body, muscular. He can run some people over, and he has athleticism. But to make it in the NFL, you got to showcase your arm, your accuracy, and your decision-making. I don't think they did enough of that his last year with the Bison.
Zach Davidson on the run up the seam dropped a pass that would have been about a 30 or 40-yard gain. Now with Trey, second year from North Dakota State University, he was the 3rd overall pick in the 2021 draft. 11 plays versus Green Bay in his only preseason action. Went 4 of 5, had a 76-yard touchdown to Danny Gray. Benny was a 57% guy last year on the completions. So like the way this offense operates, talking about the Niners, is it pretty much just be accurate with your deep ball, run the read option, and throw outside the numbers, which Garoppolo doesn't do, and that will amplify and or complement the Niners defense, offense just perfectly.
Well, in theory, yes, and that's the one thing when I saw at practice, he's got a great arm. I mean, I was really impressed with just his mechanics. You know, when he was thrown against air, you know, it looks great. He's got a lot of velocity. He can place it where he wants to. But that being said, the way you laid that out, yes, you just have to manage the game in this offense, use the physicality in the run game and this great defense to win you games. But a lot of those outside the hash throws have to be on the money. You have to throw those with timing because, like Pete has always said, you know, the margin of error when it comes to defenders and the amount of space that these receivers have against them is very small. You know, it's not the same as throwing against guys and when you think guys are open in college, that window is much smaller, even if it's a short throw. So his accuracy, his decision making, his processing has to get better for this team to be successful.
Yeah, I'm pulling for him for sure. Good luck, Trey Lance. I'm sure he has friends and family members at US Bank Stadium, given he's from Marshall, Minnesota. But that just, when I was getting ready for the game, Pete, it just blew me away. Since he finished his high school career at Marshall 2018, only 389 pass attempts between NDSU and the Niners last year. So still a lot of experience to be gained by young Trey Lance. 14-7 San Francisco, and the 49ers have the ball. 13:56 to go in the game on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Preseason football courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. One of the best tacklers in the NFL. Great guy, too. Eric Kendricks is with Ben.
Yeah, thanks a lot, PA. Yeah, he's one of the best. And now he's hitched. Let's start with this. Eric Kendricks, congratulations. You got married not too long ago. How was the ceremony? How was the reception?
It was so much fun. Obviously, we had limited time, but we got all our partying in, celebration in with the friends and family, so it's good.
Congratulations. Now, as we look at this season, we made a lot about this new 3-4 defense, but that's not new to you. You won the Buckus Award at UCLA playing a 3-4 defense. So now that you're in it for the last few months, how does this defense fit your skill set?
I got to run. You know, obviously, sideline is my game, and just playing on blocks. You know, now we have an extra guy in the front, but we have Z and Daniil on the sides that are causing havoc. And I just got to clean up the mess. You know, me and Jordan are just good at moving around, cleaning up messes, so it's good.
So you guys bring in Jordan Hicks. Now he comes over from Arizona, spent some time in Philadelphia. You two are the only 2 players defensively in the NFL to have over 100 tackles and 4 interceptions last year. How's the chemistry? How's the bond with you 2 guys in the middle?
Yeah, I didn't know that, but I mean, ever since I've been watching him, so we came into the league together. You know, the guy has a knack for getting to the ball, and you know, obviously our chemistry. You know, we see things a lot the same, and communication is very similar. So we're working things out, but it's in a good way. You know, we're figuring it out with each other.
So going back to last year, you guys finished 30th in total defense last year. There's a lot of things to improve, but what are you looking to improve on the most as a total defense this year?
Just our physicality in the run game, and you know, imposing our will on opponents. You know, obviously stopping the run is huge, but you know, causing havoc in the meantime. You know, with our guys in the interior, the guys on the edges, turnovers, lots of turnovers.
All right, last question for you. We talked about this guy last week. Former Minnesota Vikings linebacker Greg Minuski is your inside linebackers coach. How do you describe Greg Minuski?
Just a true backer in the in the linebacker fraternity. The guy loves football. He has a knack for obviously the game. He's been coaching it for a while, playing for a while. So he sees things very similar to how I see things, and we coach on the fly. We make adjustments on the sideline, and everything's good.
Hey, man, appreciate it so much. Thanks for your time.
No problem. Let's go.
Thanks, Ben. Thank you, EK. Eric Kendricks has led the Vikings in tackles 6 of the last 7 years. And, I was going to say after he leads them in tackles again this year, but things are so new. And with the 3-4 defense and, how they're going to use Harrison Smith and stuff like that, I'd make him favored, but what do you think?
It comes down to who's playing, who stays in when they go to dime. If they bring in the 2 extra defensive backs, you take a look at a game like this, and one thing for sure between Eric Kendricks and Jordan Hicks, they're good in pass coverage, and you see how important that is. Because you're like a linebacker, big deal. They're good in pass coverage. But you see a team like the 49ers and what they want to do underneath and how they want the tight ends to get one-on-one with linebackers and the running backs coming out of the backfield, doing different routes and different things. San Francisco has exploited that underneath coverage where I think once we get Kendricks and Hicks in the game, other teams are not going to be able to do that. So a game like tonight would have been a huge night for those two.
JaMycal Hasty, the tailback on 3rd and 3. Previously, Jordan Mason, undrafted from Georgia Tech, was running quite well for these Niners. Purdy, under pressure, sprints up the middle. He's shy of the first down. Luigi Villain, who has a forced fumble. He forced that fumble at the goal stripe. He was part of the tackling brigade. And also for the Minnesota Vikings, William Kwenku, a rookie linebacker from Temple. So the 49ers, who have had trouble converting on 4th down, they are going to opt to punt. They are 0 of 2 on 4th down, and they will punt. And Amir Smith-Marset, check that, Jalen Naylor is back at the 10-yard line. And we've talked about this a lot during the preseason, whether it's at Vegas or Minneapolis. The punt return job for the Minnesota Vikings is very, very much wide open. Naylor lets that one bounce at about the 13, rolls to the 10, to the 5, 3, 2, and Wishnowski with a beauty. 14-7 Niners, 10:08 to go in the only preseason home game. It's Minnesota Vikings football. It's the Vikings Entertainment Network and preseason football. 10:08 to go in the game. 14-7 on the Northland Ford dealer scoreboard. 78 for the San Francisco 49ers. We got to get him in because it looks like Kyle Shanahan's not going to play him. And he's a rookie from PJ Fleck's University of Minnesota Golden Gophers, undrafted. He attended Mayer Lutheran High School. And when he was playing for the Golden Gophers, he was a 5-time academic All-America. All Big Ten. So, Sam Schluter may not get any run in the game, but he's going to get some run on the simulcast because he's one of us. And that's very important in this state, Peter, right?
It is. And yeah, I think that's one of the things like guys like Kwesi Odofa-Mensah and Kevin O'Connell realize when they get up here. It's just how important that is to people here, the pride that everyone here has and the quality of really Minnesota football. And there are a lot of guys playing, and we point them out every single week. There are a lot of guys in this league who are from Minnesota, and a lot of good football being played here at the high school and college level.
Mannion 10 of 14, 65 yards. This is his second stint in the game. Handoff to Kobach. And with a nice sharp cut to the right, he gets to the 7-yard line for a gain of 5. And that'll make it 3rd and right around 4. The quarterback spot behind Kirk Cousins, it just has to be a big talker within Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center because, with all due respect, Kellen Mond had that nice game against Vegas, not so much this evening. And Sean Mannion he's just, for the most part, been steady. He's had some bad throws, some good throws. The backup quarterback behind Cousins might not be on the roster right now.
Well, it's going to be a competition now. In all fairness to Mannion, he had a wide open Zach Davidson earlier. That pass was dropped. So,
come on, man. It's a preseason game. I'm sorry to like trip out like it's middle of the regular season, but I mean, come on. I'm sorry,
those are the plays right there. It's really been efficiency with the offense really all night, Paul. And it's frustrating to see, and it's got to be frustrating, especially for the defense, who now, I mean, you look at time of possession, and they have an 11-minute lead and 8 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. You're down by a touchdown. You need to get the ball back. Those defensive legs are tired, so we'll see how this turn goes.
This undrafted Tulane kid, Ryan Wright, 3 punts, 49 yards. I'm making the over-under on this one. 54.5 yards. Which way do you go?
Under.
Yeah, because you watched it. Short punt to Willie Snead from the 50 far side to the 40. Oh, Willie Snead to the 35. It was a 43-yard punt, you cheater, and a 15-yard return. 8.5 minutes to go between the Vikings and Niners. Niners lead by 7 on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network, it's preseason football, and we welcome you back to U.S. Bank Stadium. Will the real Sam Schluter please stand up? There's Sam Schluter. You see, the Niners carry 278s, so a member of the Akeem Spence family undoubtedly phoned producer Steve Johnson and said, "You guys saying something about my kid? Because I see him on TV." And then we're like, "Nah, Sam Schluter is the person about whom we're chatting, because he's a rookie from the University of Minnesota, undrafted, 5-time academic All-Big Ten. That guy's Sam Schluter, and he went to Mayer Lutheran High School, which is about 35-40 minutes from here. So the real Sam Schluter has emerged. 14-7 San Francisco, 8.5 minutes to go in the game. Mason, speaking of undrafted rookies, Jordan Mason, undrafted from Georgia Tech in that rambling wreck. 6 runs, 30 yards versus Green Bay. He had 18 touchdowns in 4 years at Georgia Tech, 1 via reception. And that's a gain of 2, making it 2nd and 8.
Now, much nicer job by Janaris Robinson on the outside. He had 3 receivers, so as a linebacker, outside linebacker, he's walked out, but identified run quickly, came up. And Donatell's talked about it, setting the edge, and what does that mean? And by setting the edge and forcing that lineman back, our interior linemen were able to scramble up and make the tackle. So nice job by Robinson.
Hudson motions out of the backfield, and Purdy rolls out to the left, and he'll dump it near side. And it is caught by Troy Fumagalli. 5th-year Scotty. Troy Fumagalli, 5th year from Wisconsin, 6'6", 248. It'll be 3rd and 1 after the 7-yard reception. On 3rd down, both teams have struggled a little bit this evening. The 49ers are 6 of 14. They've gotten better after being like 0 for 7. We're 1 of 9. About 7 minutes to go in the game. Vikings at Denver 1 week from today to close the preseason. 22 days from today, we host the Green Bay Packers to begin the regular season, 3rd and short. Handoff goes to Mason, left side, and he goes grinding for a 49ers first down. Jalen Twyman, speaking of Gophers, Osezi Otomawa, also 1 of 2 to bring down Mason. 1st and 10 for San Francisco from the Vikings 26.
I know it's preseason football, but football's football. These guys have had a couple live practices, a day to rest, and come out here, and then again, San Francisco already with over almost 31 minutes of possession. You get to those 3rd and shorts, you've been stopping them all day, but the legs are tired and it becomes a little more difficult.
Purdy, play action, rolls out to the right, runs away from a couple of Vikings, throws across his body, and it's caught by Fumagalli at the 22-yard line. And that'll be a gain of 4 yards, 2nd and 6. Well, Surratt just got lost.
Yeah, he did. He just, and that's, for a younger linebacker, some of those bootlegs and play actions can be one of the hardest things to manage. And that, what it is once you identify the play, you have to assume what areas these receivers are going to be and kind of get to those spots. So yeah, Surratt was taken by surprise, and he really shouldn't have been on that play.
2nd and 7, San Francisco. Brock Purdy, one of 2 quarterbacks used by Kyle Shanahan. The other is Nate Sudfeld. Handoff goes to Mason, and the rookie from Georgia Tech is a rambling wreck between those hash marks inside the 5. 1st and goal, Niners 18-yard dash by Mason.
Well, that has to be the longest run of the preseason thus far, and when these legs get tired, you start arm tackling, and Nate Hairston gets up in there. He gets a shoulder on him, and oh, I'm sorry, it's not Nate Hairston. It's somebody else. It's Mike Brown. You got to come up with a tackle. As a safety, you're going to be called upon to get up in there and stop the running backs, and the arm tackles aren't going to do it when you get this tired.
1st and goal from the 5 for the 49ers, and they go heavy. A couple of tight ends. Purdy to Mason, walks in left side, touchdown 49ers. Jordan Mason, and there's a flag on the play. Probably, I don't know, holding on the Niners maybe?
Yeah, probably thrown in the direction of the tight end. So
Hudson, 84.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Tanner Hudson probably.
Yeah.
Holding offense, number 84.
Yeah.
10-yard penalty, replay, 1st down.
4.5 minutes to go. Was 27 for a second. Now it's 14-7. Going to back him up a little bit, Pita.
Yeah, and that's one of those things where I guarantee you Donatel was screaming on the sidelines, what happened to my contain? And then you get the flag and you realize it was a tight end, and you go, okay, that's what happened to my contain. So, you know, again, Paul, the run fits and everything have been really, really good all throughout this preseason. And now you've got to, you have another opportunity here, 1st and 15, to make San Francisco take the field goal attempt instead of scoring a touchdown.
49ers ball, pass right side. Marcus Johnson shakes a tackle or two and gets back inside the 5.
And they're trying to give it back to us. They ended up fumbling the football, putting it on the ground. So nice job by Surratt to hustle and get over there. And you know, the turnovers of Caleb Evans being smart, getting in there, ripping that ball free. That's something that you work on in practice every single day. So for Evans to come in there, swat that ball away, get it loose, we just need more defenders hustling around the ball carrier, Paul, and you're able to come up with that, and that would have been the 2nd big stop that this Viking defense has made inside the red zone. So almost there. It's good to see him fighting, but you know, they're going to have to come up with those turnovers.
Jordan Mills, 9th-year offensive lineman from La Tech, Louisiana Tech. Kind of saved the preseason day for the 49ers with that fumble recovery. So now with 4:26 to go in the only preseason home game, the San Francisco 49ers lead 14-7. There's Brock Purdy, 7th rounder from Iowa State. Puts a man in motion, and on 2nd and goal from the 4, works under center. Play action to Mason, rolls out to the left, fakes Robinson out of his cleats, heads up the middle and is stuck by Chaz Surratt, but this Purdy kid won't go down. It'll be a loss of 1. Nice little shake there on Janaris Robinson.
Yeah, Janaris is learning what it's like to live on the edge. That's as an outside linebacker. And whenever you have contain, you never go for the pump fake. You never jump. You hang in there, because that's the fake that he's going to give it. So nice job by the quarterback faking that. But good hustle by Robinson to finish the play, and a great hit by Surratt. So, you know, this defense, even though the 49ers have spent a majority of this half on offense and in our red zone, they've been stingy. They've been battling this and making the 49ers use every snap that they can bring up, you know, to keep things going. So huge 3rd down. Doesn't matter what we've done so far. This Vikings defense has to come up big right here.
3rd and goal from the 5-yard line. San Francisco leads 14-7. It's the 4th quarter. Purdy out of the shotgun. Vikings rush 4. Purdy looking left, throwing left, incomplete. And the intended receiver was undrafted rookie Tay Martin. Jermichael Hasty, who has scored a touchdown. He was also on that side of the equation, but Purdy just misfired.
He did, and not a lot of pressure on him. Just trying to fire that thing in the high-low that he had in the corner of the end zone ball. And so, again, the defense is hung in there, and they have battled. And now the 49ers are missing somebody on the field, so they may have to take a timeout here.
Here comes the beefeater running out late.
Yeah, he's thinking, oh my God, this is not going to look good on film. This is not going to look good on film. But yeah, credit to the defense for hanging in there, Paul, and doing what they've done and making these 49ers settle for field goals for the most part tonight.
Adrian Hill.
Delay game offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
All right, let me ask you a question. In all your years playing for the Minnesota Vikings, you were a stud linebacker at Notre Dame for like the #1 team in the country. That's about the only way to put it. But nevertheless, in the NFL, you were on the grind all the time just to make the team. If you do something like my man did right there, running late, I mean, that really, really hurts you, right?
It really does, because they look at those things and they say, well, are there other things that he's been late on? And it's one of those things where you just like, not me. It's not going to be me. You got to be diligent to make sure you're out there.
Robbie Gould kicks the 49ers to a 10-point lead, 17-7, about 4 minutes to go in the game on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Welcome back, courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. 4:09 to go in the game. 49ers lead 17-7. Robbie Gould hit a field goal from 28 yards, capping a 9-play, 27-yard possession. And the final preseason game for 2022 next Saturday, 8 o'clock Central, from Denver against the Denver Broncos. Their general manager, George Payton, was with the Minnesota Vikings for many, many years. Russell Wilson is their quarterback. He did not play today against the Buffalo Bills, and I would be shocked if he played in that game against the Minnesota Vikings. But the Denver Broncos in a very, very difficult division with Patty Mahomes and KC, that Vegas team we saw last week. Flag on the kick, by the way, and Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers. Tough division.
Yeah, probably the best quarterback division in football, and kind of in a sneaky way, preseason wise, Paul, you're right. They're talking about that AFC West to be the division with the battle. You have Devontae Adams in that division now, so you're seeing an uptick in the quality of receivers and the quarterbacks. So Denver made their move.
On the kick, offside against the kicking team, number 49. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the results of the play. 1st down, Minnesota.
17-7. 49ers lead the Vikings, and 22 days from today, Ben, Pete, and yours truly will be calling a game against the Green Bay Packers to begin the 2022 regular season, and the starting quarterback will be that guy, Kirk Cousins. Kellen Mond back in the game now. I can't wait to watch Kirk play under this offense. And I mean, going from the Kubiaks to Kevin Stefanski, Kellen floats out to the right, down by 10, tucks it away, and he slides in at the 32. It's Kirk's put up good numbers, very accurate quarterback, one of the most accurate in the history of the game, super smart. But this O'Connell, Wes Phillips, Chris O'Hara trifecta working with them, just there are myriad things I've seen in training camp that I really like. His accuracy with receivers on the run in the middle of the field, I think fans are really going to like how he hits these guys on the run, because a lot of the offense, you can tell, is predicated by talented receivers.
Neutral zone infraction defense, number 75. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Talented receivers like that guy, JJ with the shades, Dalvin Cook, maybe even catching the ball. He's talented at everything he does. And Kirk's so accurate, getting these guys on the run. I can't wait to see it.
And Paul, you bring up a good point, because if you look at Cousins over the last 4 years, that completion percentage has dropped every single year. This first year here, he was over 70%, then down to 69, 67, and last year at 66.3. So it's been an annual decline in that respect as far as accuracy goes. And there's a nice strong-armed, accurate throw. Guys,
how about that?
Draped all over him. And
right hash, left boundary to Muse. I mean, that's a tough throw.
And that's, despite everything that happens today, the coaches are going to look at that throw and say, this kid has potential. And The rest of it is just getting them more comfortable in the offense, get them to make decisions a little bit more quickly, decide to scramble when it works for him. Here's a nice shot down the field.
Kellen deep, double coverage, incomplete inside the 5, looking for Jalen Naylor, and there are no flags.
You know, that's a play I think we'll see more of as well, because at some point offensively you've got to throw it deep and loosen up the defense, or else those safeties start getting comfortable. They start jumping all the underneath things. So you need every once in a while to just take that shot and stretch out a defense. But so going back to Cousins, Paul, I think watching his completion percentage is going to be pivotal. And you mentioned how accurate he is. He is that accurate of a quarterback. But we needed him to get closer to that 70% margin, or 70% area again this year.
Kellen floats one over the head of Myron Mitchell, who was wide open at the Niners 41. So now it will be 3rd and 10 from the 49-yard line, with the Vikings trailing 17-7. Overall, in a game that, you know, it's just had some snooze appeal to it. You know, with a large amount of the ones and quite honestly the twos for the Vikings and 49ers suiting up but not playing. What have been some things that have stuck out to you from a Viking standpoint that you've enjoyed?
Well, I've liked watching Ed Ingram go about his business and being able to get out there and do some things, because let's face it, between he and Booth, you know, those are the guys that are going to be impactful. They're the ones that are going to be out on this field once the season starts. It's really, those are kind of really the only 2 spots where there's going to be a lot of competition. So, you know, you look at this preseason, what do you take away from it? Well, you can't take much, because we haven't seen most of the big playmakers and the guys that we're depending upon this season play. So outside of practice, this is, you know, we haven't really had a chance to see. So, you know, September 11th, it's going to be an unveiling in many different ways.
Kellen on 1st down, screen, Koback turns it up outside the numbers, 35-30, and Koback lunges ahead to the 29-yard line. So it's a gain of 9, making it 2nd and short for the Vikings, trailing 17-7. 3 minutes to go in the game. Kellen started the game, was supplanted in the 2nd quarter by Mannion, and they've rotated the entire game. Sean Mannion led the team on its only touchdown drive, and Kellen gets to finish. Empty backfield, Wyatt Davis, the right guard. Kellen, nice pass. And Myron Mitchell dropped it at the 11-yard line. Nice pass by Kellen, right between the hands of old Myron Mitchell.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing to keep in mind when we go back and try to talk about Mon's performance tonight. I mean, that was a huge drop by Myron Mitchell. You get yourself in the red zone. Zach Davidson had one that he dropped that would have been a 1st down. Another one would have been a huge play to get the Vikings out of the shadow of their own goalpost and up the midfield. So for whatever reason, the receivers tonight, Paul, and the tight ends, I think from a receiving standpoint, have taken a little step backwards.
2 receivers left. Jalen Naylor right. Mon going the way of Naylor on a fade. Awful pass. And Kellen has thrown 2 interceptions. A, he telegraphed it, and B, he floated it, and C, it was picked off by Taylor Hawkins, undrafted rookie from Kevin O'Connell's San Diego State University. I mean, I'm not, you know, ain't nobody trying to be super harsh here. That's the only way to put it. That's a terrible pass.
Well, you have to be able, when you have a safety roaming the middle of the field, to look him off. Because if you just look that way and throw that fade, and this is the NFL, these safeties are fast. They have plenty of time to get over there and make a play on the football. So, you know, for Mond, like I said, Paul, it's kind of hard to put all this. I know he's going to walk away with 2 interceptions, and that's what people are going to dwell on. But, you know, his receivers, that play right there would not have occurred had a ball to Myron Mitchell been caught just a couple plays earlier.
Purdy to salt away the victory. Mason, undrafted tailback from Georgia Tech, got a little wiggle to him to the left side, gets to the 8-yard line. And that'll be a gain of 5 yards as we approach the 2-minute warning. The San Francisco 49ers 17, the Minnesota Vikings 7. Preseason finale a week from today, 8 o'clock from Denver. 3 weeks and a day from today the regular season opener against A-Raj and the Green Bay Packers. Back to U.S. Bank shortly on the Vikings Entertainment Network. 17-7 49ers. Kellen Mond has thrown 2 interceptions. Luigi Villain, undrafted linebacker from Wake Forest, he caused a fumble inside the 1 back in the third quarter when general manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah was part of the simulcast. So we've had some turnovers in this game, but nevertheless, the 49ers have been the better team, at least as the 2s and 3s go that we've seen. Nate Sudfeld, Brock Purdy, Sean Mannion, Kellen Mond for the Minnesota Vikings. Kevin O'Connell, coach of the Vikings, has 1 timeout remaining. Kyle Shanahan has 2. And the 49ers have a 10-point lead.
Yeah, Paul, and that's what consistent quarterback play, will give you. It's I think that for San Francisco, they have their 2s and 3s figured out, and they're still going to be waiting on their 1. They have no idea what they're going to get out of their starter yet. So it's just interesting that way.
Mason whips around the right side, is encountered at the 12 and falls ahead to the 15. So that'll be a 6-yard run with 1:45 and counting to go. As part of the simulcast, Pete Ben and I enjoy the opportunity to do the game for Fox 9 and of course KFAN and the Vikings Radio Network. That's where we will be for every regular season game, as we have been for more than 20 years. But when it comes to television, we don't get the opportunity to work with very talented people frequently during the year, like director Ryan Dobish and technical director Sean Kelly, audio Brad Zimet, graphics Jeff Island, and producer Steve Johnson, who I've gotten to know quite well during this off season through church functions. Mason trying to preach his way up the field outside the numbers, 20-25. And with a minute to go, that should about do it as the Niners head to victory formation. With KFAN, Master Control Supervisor Brandon Molesky, along with executive producer Chad Abbott. Eric Nordquist is producing today's show. And Jared Wells, spectacular, as the technical guidance of the Minnesota Vikings Radio Network. And 22 days from today, again, can't wait to call that game against the Green Bay Packers. That's going to be a sweet game, Peter.
Yeah, what a great way to start the season against your biggest rival, the defending division or defending conference or defending division champions. Excuse me. They have some question marks at wide receiver. Defense hasn't looked great, but we'll see. Again, they're not fielding everybody that they're going to have, so it might be our first chance to see a lot of our starters go out there and do what they do. So, yeah, look, 3 weeks, man. Let's go. Let's play. It's not going to get here soon enough.
Kevin O'Connell and Kyle Shanahan greet at center field. And by the way, when we play Green Bay, that guy, Daniil Hunter, he's going to be part of the equation. So is Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook. He's JJ, Harrison Smith, Eric Kendricks, Dalvin Tomlinson, Harrison Phillips, Christian Darrisaw, Brian O'Neill. Opportunity to be one of the best bookending tackles in the National Football League, assuming they stay healthy. And of course, Kirk Cousins, one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL, chucking that thing up to the veteran Thielen, and Justin Jefferson, who is desperately going to try to get 2,000 receiving yards this year. So the 49ers beat the Vikings 17-7. For Ben Lieber and Pete Bursich, I'm Paul Allen. The game has been courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network.